Hey everyone, it's Thursday again. Hello friends, welcome to my Game of Thrones stream. Thanks for joining me again. And thanks to you lovely three for joining me for this casting call for session 2 of X. Don't quite know when that ends. I'm thinking I want to pitch it around the 10 to 15 range, but I'm not going to rush things. But I do like things to have an arc and an end and stuff. And also, it gives me time to do other things. And pace the story a bit, you know. Speaking of doing things, let's have a quick chat. Don, how are you doing this week? What have you been up to? Apart from working all hours, God sends.
Oh man, I'm doing great today. I slept in, which was awesome. Yeah, just a lot of work, a lot of fun stuff, but a lot of work writing. And last night we had a great session with Charlie and Kiana and May Black Roses Bloom. So that kept me up late thinking about it and the repercussions of it.
That's always good when it does, right? Like.
It usually does.
When
It usually does because I realize, like, I think about their choices and I think about my options, and as soon as I start thinking about my options, that's it. That's the next 4 hours of my life.
This game is my commute. Like, I just kind of sit and just think, and kind of cool things eventually enter my head at some point.
Yeah. I think about this game a lot too, and I'm really looking forward to today being back playing Sir Olyver. House Yronwood, visiting that last week briefly, it went a little smoother than I thought it was going to, and that really kind of creeps me out.
We need the crash zoom again. Yeah,
that's right, crash zoom.
Yeah,
but I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. So am I. It should be really cool. I've got some pretty juicy, kind of low key but quite juicy stuff going on. I think based on some of the background writing that you've been doing, we haven't seen come into the game yet, so it should be really cool. And Susie, you had a line today, if Twitter is to be believed, right?
I didn't get out of bed until like 3 p.m. It was so good. I wasn't asleep the whole time. In my defense, I was reading. I was catching
That's
up on
even worse.
to read. I was working in bed.
Sure.
What? Anyway, I had a wonderful morning, a wonderful afternoon. I'm so relaxed. I'm so ready for this trauma to hit. And I was a bit worried there with the faces Sam was pulling there when Don was like, yeah, House Ironwood went really smooth. And Sam was like, so now I'm really afraid.
It's a damn face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It should be really cool. And I know that we've got some scenes, not planned, but like, you know, we chat in between sessions and I'm like, you know, is there anything you want to do? Like, is there anyone you're going to go and see? And taking a leaf out of Fiasco's book, usually, that's just a note in my session, so you guys can frame that kind of how you like, you know. So yeah, we got a little bit of that coming up, so that should be really cool. And Jason, how has your week been, sir? What have you been up to?
Excuse me. Actually been quite all right overall. Can't complain. I mean, even if I could, I don't know if it'd be much use. But overall, personally, it's been a very fulfilling week. Got some things going on, hands in different pies, and wearing different hats every day. I have a very weird way of going about my work. Don't ask. But overall, no, I'm enjoying myself and so happy to be here and looking forward to whatever's going to happen. Yeah, I'm not trepidatious at all. That sort of high intonation you hear is not nervousness. No, it's perfectly well and perfectly fine.
Highgarden's a weird one to write because I could be here for days writing like the whole expansive thing, or I could try and figure out what you want to go for, or maybe just actually the editor in my head go, just laser focus, what's the plot? Like, just introduce the plot and do the plot. So, yeah, there's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column C, so that should be cool. Yeah. But, dear friends, I have had a tiring week. Obviously, knows the grindstone at Modifius, and the weekend just gone, writing a bit of finishing up on the beta for the spy game, which is really cool. So I've got like a not like a final draft, like a finished first draft of like the rules sections at least, so that's cool. And this weekend will just be more revisions and stuff that I want to change before it goes into the beta, basically. I think because already from playing like online with folks and chatting to people like you, like I've got some ideas about what I want to change already. So hopefully we'll put that in. Then that will go out to backers, so everyone will be able to see and have a play and let me know how it goes. That should be awesome. If you're watching back or if you're watching live, you haven't looked at it yet, then the Kickstarter is finished, but you can check out more information at blackcatsgaming.com. Or you can check us out on social media with stuff. Let's see if my commands work today. Yay! We've got Facebook, we've got Twitters, all that kind of stuff. And I made commands for you lot too, so at the end we can do exclamation mark Izzy. Let's see. All the stuffs. Yeah, so that should be cool. All right. So I usually read through and do like a little dress rehearsal in my head for this stuff. I have not done that today, so strap in. Because I know what the fuck's going on. And like I said, my written sections are getting shorter and shorter now. So it's just, off the cuff stuff. Hopefully not too off the cuff. All right, let's just get down to it. Let's get down to Symon straight away. Jason, this is you, buddy.
Of course it is. Of course, yeah.
All right. Symon, as you make your way up to the Green Hand Tower, to your dinner invitation with Lady Rowan, the halls and corridors of Highgarden are thick and oppressive with people. The constant din of courtly conversation is punctuated with hearty, overdone laughter, as lords and men seem to try and outdo each other on how amused they seem to be by their liege or their lord or whatever. The noise and the energy seem to shrink the walls in around you, having become accustomed to the space and the freedom of the gardens and the open sky. It's already dark, and the castle's sconces light your way with a soft amber glow. A whiff of stale beers and rich wines hang in the air, and the winding stairs that lead you up to Lady Rowan's quarters darken and lighten again with every circumference as you come upon each torch. Each time the darkness engulfs you, the dread of this poison rose of a castle overwhelms you once more. What must be only 3 or 4 stories up, the spiral stone staircase opens up into a corridor down which you can see the decorative roses of House Tyrell carved into wooden features along the White Castle walls. And stepping out from an elaborate oak door from the office of the Warden of the South steps Lord Tyrell and the small council of the Reach. Lord Tyrell, with his greying light brown hair and his slender appearance tucked neatly into green and gold doublet and hose, is speaking with an Oakhart knight, a tall man, Sir Gawain Oakhart, his steward. Broad and athletic, he is wearing the 3 leaves on his doublet with the mousy hair that is typical of the Oakharts. And the 2 of them are chatting and laughing and joking together. Following them, straight behind them, is Lord Randall Hightower, his Lord Treasurer. It's a portly middle-aged man, a lord with some airs and graces, his hair receding at his temples though, and he kind of squints in the darkness at everybody long or short distance. And he's speaking intently with Lady Olyver Tyrell. Lady Olyver is Lord Leo's mother, and she is an older woman with pale skin, dark brown hair, and bright blue eyes. She talks intently and seriously with Lord Randall. And they are followed in the conversation with Lady Desmera, whose discourse is just as passionate and attentive as the 2 other officers of this small council. Anything you would like to do here as they start approaching the staircase that you are just taking a moment on?
Uh, uh, okay. So literally, Lord of Highgarden just coming down the stairs as one does, obviously. Okay. Have they seen me? There's no place to hide in this corridor, is there?
No, and the thing is, Lord Tyrell and Sir Gawain, they don't care. They're laughing, they're joking, they're having a good time.
Don't tell me.
Sir Gawain has a goblet of something that swills about slightly as he jokes, and is kind of pushed boyishly by Lord Leo. And these are two like adult kind of getting on to middle-aged men, and they're just kind of pissing about like two, I would say frat boys, but like two squires who are, who have just found their cups for the first time, kind of thing,
Two medieval frat boys, gotcha.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Squire's basically a long gap year, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
From like 12 to 18, like
Yeah.
a 6-year gap year. I'm as they make their way towards the staircase, I'm going to try and, because I know that Lady Rowan's quarters are, or private spaces are like.
There are a few floors up, actually.
Oh, there are a few floors up.
Yeah, this doesn't have to be. Sorry, I didn't actually make that clear. This doesn't have to be your egress point. Like, you can kind of skirt back up the stairs, let them pass. You could take the opportunity to gain any more insight into their relationships based on just what you observe. You could try and do something to talk to them or anything like that, or you could just make your way upstairs towards Lady Rowan's quarters. They're high up in the the Green Hand Tower. And this isn't a small tower. It's not like she's been put up here for some reason. Like, there are quarters on each floor here as this large superior castle.
I have an idea.
Sure.
I basically want to blend in where I'm just slowing my step in ascending the staircase and just casting an ear to whatever they're saying. So it's basically like when you speed through the first like 3 or 4 floors, and then you just sort of take a breather on the 5th and just sort of make your way up a little bit more diligently. Symon's going to try and do the same, where it's like, oh yeah, no, just walk in here, definitely not listening to your conversations, but he's definitely listening to those conversations.
That is a stealth ability. Blend in is a specialty.
Okay, that'll be, I think, fine.
Let's clear this. Oh, I don't know.
That's under agility or athletics?
Stealth.
Stealth. Oh, wait, stealth is an actual one, right?
Yeah, stealth and ability.
That's a healthy heaping of 2 dice right there.
Oof.
I'm going to spend my 1 destiny point. Just spend it to add +5 to the result. That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on.
So, I believe that's how that works.
Burning a destiny point.
Oh, really?
Spending, you can gain a bonus dice.
Ugh. I mean,
this is a great opportunity to remind chat we have some interactions. You can donate for a bonus dice, a test die, or even destiny point for people if you fancy.
I'll forego. Damn it. Well, I already said I was going to do it. So, you know what? Yeah, I'll spend and roll a spend a destiny point, roll a bonus dice.
Sure. So it'll be you can do on the first row of the abilities on the sheet is a custom roll. Yep. If you click on custom roll, you can do your own. So it'll be 2 + 1 bonus, and it asks you at each step.
All right, and then +1 as submit, no penalty dice, and then badunk, a 9.
Let's have a look. Oh, that's the wrong character. That's why. There she is. Let's drop this down for a second. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. So the 2 men, Longthorn and Sir Gawain, aren't a problem because they don't care. obviously the more observant person you might be worried about is Lady Desmera. Now, she is the last person to leave that corridor and step onto the stairs. They are descending down the staircase, so you're not worried as she turns the corner that she might follow you up here. But you just as you're about to turn up and the central column of the staircase is about to obscure your vision, you look down at her and she pauses for just a second but doesn't look up, and she follows you down, follows the rest of the people down. The conversation you hear between Lord Leo and Sir Gawain is just that of, it's inconsequential. It's aren't I athletic? Yes, I hit a man once. Ha ha ha, aren't I clever? Kind of stuff. Lady Elenya Tyrell is speaking to Lord Hightower, and she's talking about a piece of business at court tomorrow where someone is going to be asking to their liege lord, Lord Tyrell, for dispensation to legitimize a bastard son. And Lady Elenya is saying, and we will accept this, yada yada yada. And she is telling Lord Hightower what's going to happen. Because if we're nothing but on brand, right?
Do I get any indication as to who the bastard is, or is it just, oh, there will be this piece of faff that's coming up through tomorrow?
You haven't heard. You're very, very welcome to roll a knowledge streetwise check. The difficulty for this, the snippet of the conversation you have, the difficulty is 21.
I mean, there's no harm in it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Somebody say yes. Okay, so with my knowledge focus in... Oh, no, that's histories and legends, so knowledge focus wouldn't apply here. Okay. I've got a bonus dice in Streetwise, and I get +4 to the result. No bonus dice, no penalty dice, no penalty dice.
No, you've not got injuries or wounds or anything.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that's close.
No. +4.
Oh.
Because Maester is 21.
Okay. You catch on to they actually like mention a location, and it's not specifically their home, but you piece together like where they would be in the Reach. And I just need to find the bit of business now because it's a bit way down the way. And you reckon it is the Bulwers.
The Bulwers?
Lord Bulwer. Bulwar. Feel free to a wiki of ice and fire it for your own sakes, because with history and legends, you'll know about the house, I think. That's not a roll that I'm going to make you do.
So with Lord Bulwer's bastard, this is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's interesting.
So what this bit means is like Lord Longthorn, like Lord Leo cannot legitimize people. That's only the king can do that.
Sure.
But this is basically a courtesy to their liege lord of going, so I'm going to go say that Johnny is my son, and I'm going to go to the king. I'm just making sure that we're cool with it, right? So that's what he's up to.
Is this being overseen by, or well, no, I wouldn't know, but could I reasonably assume that it is the actual, like, lord of the house, you know, who fought at the Redgrass, who's bringing this up, or?
You could assume that, yeah.
I could assume that. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so now Charlie's gone. Everyone gonna die. No.
What a surprise. I'm
All right. So you can assume this is well. So Jason, why else would someone legitimize their bastard?
They don't have an heir,
right?
Or they just feel such pity. I mean, Lords of the Reach are chivalrous. It can be assumed that at least one of them would be stupid enough to have such pity on a bastard.
And bear in mind, we just fought a war because some idiot legitimized all their bastards on their deathbed.
So I'm assuming that. Can I reasonably assume that Lady Olynyia is being truthful and saying like, oh no, we're going to do this for you, like or for them.
Yeah. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to really like, right, okay, unless you want to follow them, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to...
Nope, I've got a dinner date. Nope, can't, sorry.
Do the insight check thing. All right, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so about 3/4 the way up the tower, an open door leads you into Lady Rowan's chambers, and before you sits Lady Rowan, behind a dining table, in a golden silk dress, with hair both radiant... Right, let me do that sentence again, because I wrote that in like a really fancy way and it didn't work out. All right. God, I have to go all the way back. About 3/4 up the tower, an open door leads you into Lady Rowan's chambers, and before you sits Lady Rowan, behind the dining table, in a golden silk dress and hair, both radiant in the orange candlelight. There we go. In front of her, her blonde hair, I will say. I didn't write that in the bit, but I wrote that in the character sheet. She's got beautiful coiffed blonde hair, beautiful golden dress. In front of her sits a man with the dull look of someone already in their cups, wearing a black doublet with a scruffy, embroidered red spider on the front. At the head of the table sits Lady Crane, her curly brown hair awkwardly hanging over a thin, plain face, framing big grey eyes set charmingly within their sockets. Man, Charlie's gonna have a fit. She's missing this. And next to Lady Rowan sits her knight with his white goatee and leathery old skin. Lady Rowan stands as you enter, and everyone else stands as a courtesy. And she greets you, calls you by name Symon. She introduces the people to you. So she introduces Lady Crane first. She then introduces Lord Webber, sat across from her. And she introduces, and she says, and of course you will know my knight, Sir Osmond.
And I will know his dedication to you. That which I tested earlier. Most sincere apologies, good sir.
None taken. He says with this, kind of gloaty kind of, look at me, I'm a knight, kind of. There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm just going to turn to Lord Webber and lightly prod and say, I do so hope that you've spared some for the rest of us.
He laughs and takes another drink. And so everyone sits down. I would like you to roll a status breeding test for me, please, as we enter this intrigue.
All right, yeah. Perfectly fine. Not going to be a problem at all.
This is fine.
So status with 1 penalty dice because of my flaw. Submit.
So interesting. So I learnt, not a new rule, I learnt a rule literally the other day that I thought existed and forgot about. So if you have a penalty dice in one of your abilities that corresponds to a derived stat, like your intrigue defense,
right?
You treat it as if the stat was 1 lower.
Oh, so it's a passive status of 8.
So your intrigue defense, because it's based on status, will be awareness plus cunning plus status -1, because you've got that penalty dice in status.
Okay, so my defense will be...
So what would it normally be if you just add those 3 stats up?
So cunning, awareness...
and status.
Is 10.
So it would be 9, because you've got that flaw in status.
Well, that sucks. All right.
That corresponds to all passive abilities, all derived statistics, including combat defense, composure, health. If you take a flaw in endurance, your health drops by 3.
No thanks. Okay.
I learned this by generating old people for this session.
Wonderful to know.
Yeah.
Wonderful to know. Not worrying at all. Okay, so my intrigue defense is 9, but my composure is also 9 because that's a test derived from will? Or
Composure's just derived from will. So
composure is just derived from will, straight. Right.
yeah, so if you have a penalty dice in will, then your composure will drop by 3.
Gotcha. Okay, so my defense is that. So, oh, that's not right. Ignore the second one. It's minus.
You got 10 there, right?
Yes, a 10.
Yeah. All right. Well, she got 18. I mean, she's kind of sat at this table with everyone around her, all her mates around her. All right. So environment-wise, the actual lords and ladies around her aren't going to have turns or take any actions or anything, but she is going to get some bonuses from them being here. You have come into her little dinner party, essentially, and so she has put together this scene in a way that suits her best. I think advice for all, if you're wanting to hit hard with intrigues, we can figure out how you want to approach something, how best you can set up a circumstance to get in your favor. Because I found some actually pretty good advanced intrigue rules that I'd written for myself a little while ago, and it's all about giving yourself extra DR, giving yourself flat bonuses to test results, giving yourself a little bit more composure and stuff like that. So that's all there. So we can mess around with that in the coming sessions, I think. So basically, for transparency, so Lady Crane's going to give her a +2 bonus to persuasion results. Because that's basically an assist. She's basically there, she's chatting, she's helping her be yeah, she's really lovely, kind of bullshit. And then Sir Osmond is her cohort, so it's just the thing that Susie's taken. So she's going to get a +2 to her intrigue defense. Because she's got her knight right there next to her.
Okay.
But you can do this, Jason. She's not a hard hitter. She's only I wrote her as a main character, and she is only 17. So she's not got all the amazing XP to spend.
Oh wow, she's only 17.
Old peeps. Yeah. A little bit of context, she is Lady Faye Rowan. She is 17. She has basically taken custody of her house because she is the last remaining true-born Rowan.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. The vulturous suitors are going to be sniffing at the door. But she's got a lovely knight next to her who's, all protector and chivalrous and stuff. So there is that.
Okay.
But she is going to go first. She is going to ask you... So politely, everyone sits down to dinner. There's a nondescript JRM feast. Not feast, but meal, where it's all sweet things over savoury things and weirdly cooked poached doodads. And I didn't write this description of food. I'm sure someone can find me a George description of food. In fact, Susie or Don or chat, find me what they're eating.
Find me food, damn you.
Thanks, George. Yeah, so you're tucking into a lovely meal, and this is the first really proper meal you've probably had in a long time.
Yeah.
After the first, there's probably 4 or 5 courses, slightly smaller courses, but a few courses, and by the second, this is becoming difficult to get down. But it's up to you whether you want to kind of keep shoveling it in. You never know when you might properly eat again.
As the second course arrives, I think Symon would kind of more diligently regard his guest rather than his food. So,
all right. There's there's very inconsequential talk, just very small talky chatter. But then after a little bit of shifting your second course around your plate, Lady Rowan asks you a bit to tell us your story. You seem troubled. I might be able to help. I could do with good people round me. And she's like looking around as she tucks into a little bit of her roast auroch. Thanks, Pope. With some fresh rye bread, sweet rolls. There's sweet rolls on the table, ready for the third course. Oh yeah. Okay. So the first course was roast auroch. I get that. So that's beef. You've like, this is great, freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like bit of rye bread with it. It's like a weird second course. You're like, all right, so bread, I guess. And this is the filling stuff, particularly because you've got a flagon of like small beer at the table too. Like,
Yeah.
So proper hearty roast dinner. Yorkshire showing. And yeah, she's asking you, come on, you like, tell us a bit more. Like, she is basically like, maybe I can help, you know?
I'm assuming this is an influence.
This is going to be influenced straight away, yeah. So this is going to be against your intrigue defense of 9. Obviously, pick your disposition towards her. That will give you your disposition rating, which is your armor against her composure damage. And then it will give you a bonus or a negative modifier to your tests.
Yep.
So this is her first. This is 17 against your intrigue defense.
Ow.
Yeah. 9, 14. There's 2 degrees of success as we work our way up in 5s. And so on a convince, she is going to do 6 influence to you. Take the DR away from that and then apply it to your composure.
6, you're saying?
Yeah.
I can do that. I'll take that hit just fine. Okay.
All right. I forgot to add a little bonus from What's the Chops, but we'll ignore that one for now. I'll do it the next time. Alrighty, it is over to you.
All right. At a certain point in the meal, I think he'll sort of stop eating and kind of lay down his fork and whatnot, lean back in his chair, and just sort of, you and many others, by honest accounting, could use friends. I trust that you took under advisement my previous intonations, and I sort of looked to the walls, like wondering, is there anybody else here? So he's just going to take the consider action for now.
Okay. Yeah. So she smiles at that. So you got your 2 bonus dice to keep for your next test. She's gonna she kind of smiles. She does a little nod. She looks at her knight, and her knight like exchange glances with her and with you, and it's kind of this knowing, like, we know what you said. And this is kind of slow, kind of low nod as people drink and eat and don't really pay attention to that. You have this little private moment. And yeah, it's like she's looked around and kind of given you the nod. Looked around as if to check, like people do, you know. You kind of talked about that. Are the walls listening? And you're like, I don't think so. She's like, okay, it's all good.
Good enough.
And then there is a pause, and then she is just going to regard you, and you share this look where she doesn't say anything, but she's just kind of trying to figure you out.
Would she be happening to try and read target here?
Yeah.
Just question mark.
Maybe. So your passive deception is that little number next to your ability score, and is your ability times 4, and this has to beat it in order to, or equal or beat it in order to win the test. So
Fair enough.
it goes with empathy. 12.
Passive deception is 12.
Is that it? That was, oh man. All right. Cool. So she just gets it. Okay. What's your disposition towards her?
Indifferent.
Okay. And the last technique, she will know that the last technique you used against. Well, you haven't used a technique yet, so you're all good. All right.
Yeah. Well, good timing.
Break the silence for me.
Many have been privy to my story of where I come from, of the reasons I have come. Few are privy to the truth. I came here to serve, but in the manner that I saw fit, not that others would define as suitable. He'll sit forward at that point and sort of look to the Lady Crane and the others at the table. As you may note by my looks, I'm no sellsword. Barely a knight, or at least a knight of a different sort. Or I was. He'll pause for a second and just kind of still himself. But I came here because I could not turn a blind eye any longer. We act as though 196 years after Aegon's conquest were not but fiction. I cannot abide that. And I cannot abide those who would keep us restrained, who would keep old hatreds alive, fan the flames that burned the countryside to ash and decorated a field in red.
She's beginning to look quite uncomfortable in her seat. And the table has gone quiet. And even Lord Webber has stopped drinking.
I'd like to use the insight to manipulate, or not manipulate, to influence.
Okay.
Because they know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, like, we don't like them Blackfyre folks. Yeah. All right. So insight would be, yeah.
With 2 bonus dice, right?
Mm-hmm. Are you using persuasion?
Yes.
What is your persuasion rank?
3.
Okay, so I'm going to max that out. So you're rolling 6 and keeping 3. I can only give you 1 more bonus dice, but that was cracking. So yeah, that was really fucking cool. So,
here we go. Hey, you know what?
Okay.
I'm assuming that didn't land as well as I thought it would.
It didn't land, I'm afraid.
Great. Not worried at all.
She says that on my honor and my loyalty to the crown, I will do whatever I can to help. As Marshal of the North March, and she's kind of looking about as like she's looking at the other 2 noblemen here, and she glances over to her knight as if to say, I'm doing this grandiose stuff right, am I? Yeah. And he kind of looks down, stays quiet in approval. She looks back and she says, "But I must know more. You're being deliberately evasive and potentially dishonest with me, and I must know, Symon, from whence you came and why you are here. If you are a Maester and you do not serve a house, then why do you find yourself in Highgarden? And she's talking as if she's kind of made the connection with what you've been saying and how you look. But not everything is quite there at that point. But she is going to use Shield of Reputation. So this is a status test versus your passive will result. Will times 4, or the little number you got in your sheet there. So
I got it.
Could be like a 12 or a 16, probably, something like that.
Yep. Got it.
Alrighty. So this is her. Any reputation bonus dice? Nope. Roll anyway. Oh.
Yikes!
That is like a 2 and 3 ones. She did not get it right.
She didn't.
There's a little choke in the Marshal of the North March. Like, she's still quite got... Like, Marshal was a little stuttered over. Marshal's a very masculine, like, male-oriented title. She's still trying to work maybe a new title out of it, or she's trying to kind of work it out, as you can see from her kind of stutter over that. And she's pressing. So, yeah. So, I guess this has kind of narked you a bit, maybe. So, this is like... She's like... potentially calling you dishonest as well. But yeah, it's done more harm than good, I would say. And now it's back over to you.
My Lady Rowan, I have been nothing but forthright with you. More so than many others. Even the ones I currently serve. And he sort of stops, as if he wasn't supposed to say that, but it slipped out. You are right in saying I am evasive, perhaps. But what I have done, what has transpired, is fantastical. It is unfortunate. I came to Highgarden on the good graces of the Lord Oakhart, Alistair, and his lady wife, Lady Mara, formerly of the House Greenmont. My sister, were it not for the vows that I swore to the Citadel. He pauses at that, and just... At that point, I think what he's trying to do is basically, manipulate Lady Rowan into using bargain for her next thing, so that whatever information Symon could give, he doesn't give for free, or without some sort of guarantee.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I am going to make this a deception-based roll.
Okay. Fair enough. Any bonus dice? Any penalty dice?
Yeah, I think a couple too. Bonus dice.
All right.
It's pretty sweet. If that maxes out your rank, then don't go any higher.
No,
I don't know about
got it.
bonus dice. Against passive will. All right.
Yep.
Roll them bones. Let's see what happens.
Damn it.
That's with the bonus dice.
That is with the bonus dice.
Okay. That doesn't quite land.
I know it wouldn't make any mechanical sense, but I want to take a point of frustration.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah.
She goes on to say that while I've taken on the mantle of Marshal of the North March, I am still a person, and I can see when someone is in need. And like Lady Crane backs her up on this point as well. As someone charitable, as someone who always tries to do their best with people who are in need. I'm just checking retarget is +1 dice. Okay, it's just the +1 dice. This will be an influence action. Just do that for now. $15 against your intrigue defense.
Which is 9, so
2 degrees.
2 degrees?
And that would be 8
minus my...
minus your DR.
Ouchie. Okay. 8 minus my DR, so that's that. So I'm at that. Oh, okay. Great. At that point, Symon will latch onto that and sort of piggyback and basically say, a charitable spirit is a fine thing. And to act with graciousness and charm, as you have, it is rare to find in one. He sighs and he just sort of collapses back into the seat. I feel a weariness, which you have seen plainly. But beyond that is an anger which stews, which rotted my thirst for knowledge. An anger that bid me flee from the citadel on the orders of one of my dearest friends. He bid me privately go. And all because my loyalties bid me so. Do you know the words of House Greenmont?
Oh, sorry, I'm scrolling the thing. It didn't pop-ups come up. I do not.
Forget me not. It was all at once a plea in the back of my mind. A whimper that I ignored for so long. Lady Crane, I believe you to be familiar with House Greenmont, yes?
My daughter is married there, yes. She has just had twins. She's quite proud of that, even though it was a humble brag. She kind of mentions it, but around the table, quite heartfelt too.
So I have heard. And I'll pull out the letter that I received. Just place it on the table. And so has Lady Desmera. And so many others. You must understand. Even as I lie in wait, even as I bide my time in service to Desmera, I fear for the realm. Far more than any courtier. And as I see that, and he'll point south, even though, they might not get it. As I see a retinue led by a snake traipse along our borders, it can give me nothing but pause. So yes, a charitable spirit is needed, as are women of finery, those capable of providing this world with good stock. But if we do not act now, I scarce need to tell you or remind you of what came to pass 2 years ago. He's trying to basically use insight to influence yet again.
Sure. All right. Give yourself +3 bonus dice there, man. For the introduction of the letter and the role playing stuff, that was all fucking banging. This is still deception based.
Okay, that's so. Would insight bonus die apply here, or just no? Because in deception, it's
either.
act, right?
Well, so it's the bigger of the bigger bonus dice of the two. You can either use a persuasion specialty from that ability, or you can
More of
use
an
like
actor
act or
or-
bluff. Yeah, if you're more of an actor, you can use act to kind of get by. But if you genuinely know how to incite people, you can use it, but deceptively. It's a
Gotcha.
fucking weird one, but it makes sense. Oh,
17.
hello. That is 1 degree of success.
Hey, I mean, I've been fucked over for the past couple of times. I'll be fine with that. All right, so that's insight, which is cunning rank, which is 4.
Okay. We are going
Probably gonna get eaten.
pause there and head over to Miriah, where equally it is evening in Castle Yronwood, and after spending a day or so having bathed, having been clothed in somewhat mothballed hand-me-downs from Sir Olyver's sister, you are in at least a dress, a Dornish dress, layers of silk, beautiful golden colours. And after dinner, you find yourself and Sir Olyver have an opportunity to chat. Is there anything else you'd like to frame the scene with, guys?
I think we were framing it as them having a little dancing lesson.
Yeah, so I was gonna.
Yeah. But this time, in contrary, it's not Sir Olyver teaching Miriah Dornish dances or them practicing Dornish dances. She's teaching him the stuff she learned at Summerhall. So even if it is like more stuffy and boring in her opinion, she's still like, she's gonna flex a bit of that. This is what I learned.
You got the latest dances.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I think she puts it across to him as, well, if you're going to marry a Reacher lady, then you need to learn how to dance like a Reacher.
And Sir Olyver would have taken them to what passes as the ballroom in Castle Yronwood. It's a large space with plenty of room for tables or for events, but I would say there's probably something distinctly militaristic about the decor and the way the room is laid out. It's not very similar to the Reacher ballrooms in similar places. Everything about Castle Yronwood is just a little bit more, while golden and still rich, militaristic. But he enters wearing a Sherwani, cleaned up. He's had time to trim his beard and to groom his hair. And though he's old, he still looks quite fit, not wearing armor, wearing his usual clothes. And he kind of leads Miriah in and gestures around. Are we alone in this room?
Your mother and father are sat, I imagine, at a table that's towards the edge of the room. I imagine this is like the only big lavish castles are going to have separate like ballrooms. I think this would be your great hall. This is only a small castle, so
Multi-purpose.
Mate, right? Like Fox Hollow. It's like a hall and some rooms. Like that's it.
I feel like though, unlike Fox Hollow, we wouldn't have to move tables to have space to dance.
No.
There would be space.
No, but so dinner has been served for normally a small family, and so not on the dais, but just down from there, having been like a private dinner. This is set up more like your father has been at the head of the table, your mother nearby, and then you guys have been sat across from each other. So they're chilling out at the table, but you've got plenty of space for that. If you wanted to like quiet your voices and head down towards the other end of the hall, like you wouldn't be heard.
Well, that's good. Are there musicians in the hall or no?
What do you think? I mean, maybe one, like traveling through. I don't imagine Ironwood being a destination castle for like court or minstrels or mummers or anything.
No, but anybody who would leave Dorne or come into Dorne would probably at least pass through.
Yeah, there's a traveling minstrel here.
All right.
Traveling the other way. So Miriah has to teach Sir Olyver a like the kind of Stormlands or like the kind of courtly like modern courtly dances to like an old Dornish tune and like a salty Dornish tune as well. Kind of really Roynish and slightly foreign in nature.
Okay, so Oliver will lean over to Miriah once they get to the other side of the room, trying to forget the fact that his parents are just kind of there in the corner. And he'll say, "Does this song suit you, my lady, or would you like another?"
Well, I can't say that we really dance to music like this at Summer Hall. It's not exactly in fashion there, but I suppose it'll do. It's got a beat, a melody to it. We can make do.
Very well. Well, please, you are the teacher today. Tell me.
Okay, and then, so she sort of like positions his arms in the right place, and she's very like bossy as she does it. You know, she's kind of flexing that little "I'm in charge here" in this little moment. And so she's like, your hand goes here, the other one goes here, and on the count of 4, you will step here and do this and bow. You know, she's like very counting out the steps, and she's definitely channeling the scepter at this point. She's very like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, she's very, and I feel like, you know, when she kind of relaxes a little bit and just gets into it, and she might like laugh and giggle as we're doing it.
And he's very amiable too. I think Oliver, having danced quite a bit in his life, would, if he didn't already know this style of dancing, then he's at least seen it quite a bit. So he follows along as well as he can, following her orders to a T with a little bit of a twinkle in his eye. But he will say as they get started, a little bit under his breath so that nobody else can hear, "I know that we have not had a chance yet to speak of the upcoming marriage to Lady Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all right with it?"
I suppose so. I mean, she's unmarried and you're unmarried, and I know you to be a good and honorable man, so yes.
There may come a time soon when we must ask a favor from my parents.
Mm.
And I think that may be a good time to tell them of the marriage. Don't you?
I think so. Would they be pleased with that, though?
It is hard to say, but I believe so. For centuries, House Yronwood and House Greenmont have been allies and friends.
Hmm. But then what of House Greenmont? If you are to marry Lady Marcia, what about her child?
Well, I would be as good a father to the child as I could. They would be groomed to become the lord or the lady of House Greenmont one day.
Mm. And as Olyver says, he would be a good father. Miriah smiles because she's like, yeah, you're a pretty good dad. You've been a good dad to me, as it were. She's not really saying much about it, and she seems to be thinking about it a lot. But she's smiling and sort of seems amiable to the situation.
And he continues to dance and follow her lead. Every once in a while, he slips because of the style of the Roynish music, the Dornish music. He kind of starts falling back into the way he learned to dance, the Dornish way, but only for a moment here and there. And he's quiet for a while, just enjoying that time. Also, just trying to watch Miriah. She's been through a lot, and he's concerned in a fatherly way.
I think as Olyver slips into some of Dornish dancing mannerisms, Miriah does a bit too before she's like, no, wait, we're supposed to be doing the other kind of dance. And, she's happy, she's smiling. And I feel like at some point, as we maybe do like a little spin or something, she says, well, at least you don't stand on my toes like Harris always does.
Oh, yes, Harris, the boy in Summer Hall.
And she immediately just goes beet red as she realized she's just like, pfft.
What made you think of him? He says, and then he lets her spin him this time. Mm-hmm. He ducks underneath of her hand.
She is bright red. She is very obviously mortified in only the way that a young teenage girl can be mortified when you've accidentally brought up the boy you have a crush on in front of a parental figure. And she says, oh, we used to be dancing partners at Summerhall is all.
Oh, I see. Well, hopefully soon we can have him join you and you can be dancing partners again if you wish.
And she looks away and smiles very brightly. I'd like that. I think I would like that. You would probably like him. He's the son of Sir Quentin Ball.
Oh. Yes, I think I knew that somehow. You said before when we were, and he gets a little conspiratorial in volume again.
Mm-hmm.
You've said that he is a ward there, just like you were.
Yes.
Do you think he's all right?
I do worry for him and Lyra, Lady Marcia's sister. They were my closest friends there at Summerhall, and if they were questioned, and she looks away as if to be like tortured upon my disappearance, then I dread to think what happened to them.
I think Olyver sees her look away for a moment, and he hasn't actually asked a lot about the details of her time at Summerhall, but there's a prolonged moment, and as the music kind of changes over, the minstrel starts playing a new song. Olyver says, when you were at Summerhall, my lady,
mm-hmm.
The lords there, did they ever hurt you?
No, they didn't. They never laid a finger or raised a hand to us, but it was in the looks and the whispers and the glares. We were the traitors' children. And when Lord Blackmont and his men arrived and Lord Will was feeding his poison, whatever it was, and I tried to do something about it. I spoke to the Scepter and I tried to tell her what was happening, and they didn't want to know.
He stops dancing and he kind of looks at her, and there's a lot of sympathy and pain in his eyes. He says, "There is a disease in this world, my lady. It comes from across the sea. People with power bring it with them, and they inflict it on people who just want to live free, to be happy. People in power oftentimes trample those without power beneath their heel. It is up to us, people like you and me, good people, to fight this, to protect the people who cannot protect themselves."
And she gives like a very firm nod, and there's like a look of determination behind her eyes. And she says, "I swear, when I am grown, I'll make sure nothing like this ever happens to people under my care."
I believe that, my lady. Already you do much to prove that you are braver than any young woman that I have ever met.
The music dies, and the minstrel says, you hear him say, "Would you like me to continue?" And then there is this kind of like distant like clapping from the other end of the hall, as your father has got this like bright beaming smile on his face, is clapping, and he says to your mother, "Well done to Christopher." Yes, it's so good. Christopher's looking fantastic. And he's still like clapping now.
He'll kind of lean down to Miriah and say, "Should we take a bow?"
I think so.
He'll stand and face his parents and then gesture to Miriah.
And she does a very deep curtsy with her dress.
Yeah. So like Lord Yronwood will like slowly stand out of his seat, and his wife will help him up, and he's kind of raising his hands up as best he can. He's like clapping the two of you in this kind of faux courtly scene that's kind of playing out.
Would you like to sit down and speak, or would you like to continue dancing, my lady?
I think I've had enough dancing for the evening. Should we sit?
Of course, of course. And he's also taken a deep, very proper bow, and then he'll offer his left elbow to Lady Miriah so they can approach the table.
And she takes it and walks with him.
Okay. You sit down, you join your father and mother, presumably, and some more sharp Dornish red wine is brought to the table. Yeah, quite kind of fresh and sharp as a flavour. And Miriah, you're even offered a glass as well.
She'd take it.
All right.
I'll kind of smell the nose of it. It's been a while since he's had Dornish that was this fresh off the vine.
And it fills your nostrils with that sharp, almost spicy flavour and nose. And the body and the mouthfeel of it takes you back years of drinking this stuff as you were becoming a man. Takes you back to your roots with your brothers, your elder brother, and of course your younger brother, occasionally taking a cheeky sip out of somebody else's glass. Your mother is somewhat distant, attention-wise. Your father is quite happy to drink and is quite content just sitting amongst your company. And they don't offer anything up particularly in way of conversation.
Olyver would break the silence after a couple of niceties, and just enjoying about half the glass of red. And he would look first to his father, but then to his mother, and say, "I'm sorry, but I must ask, have you considered your promise to help us with the problem of the vultures?"
Your mother replies, and she says, "I would need to know more about the whole situation."
Of course, mother. It is that Lady Miriah here can tell the first part of the story, and I can tell my part of the story. And he looks to Miriah and gives a little bit of a wink and a nod.
All right. It's initiative time, folks.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right, let's see here.
So I'll check her deets.
This is not, it's status breeding, not status reputation, right?
Breeding, yeah.
Come on.
Okay. I get a +2 to this. Oh, 9. That's awful.
All right. She, of course, gets a 19. Did I actually give her that quality? No. All right, cool. So 17.
This is narratively / mechanically important. Where's Daera?
As your cohort, Miriah, she could totally be with you if you liked. If you, for whatever reason, don't want her in the scene, then I am going to offer you a +1 result to your test result, persuasion test results. She is a Stormlander in a Dornish court. So it's either +2 to your intrigue defense or a +1 to your persuasion test results.
I think we'll go with her being there, but she's kind of, I imagine, like, while we were like dancing, that she was kind of just like stood at the edge of the room, you know, just sort of like keeping an eye on just the room. I imagine that she's taken on a sort of like semi-like bodyguardish role since we arrived at Yronwood.
That's
you know,
exactly what she's done. Yeah.
Yeah. She's just like, so she would just be like hanging out on the periphery.
Yeah. Cool. All right. There is kind of an awkward couple of moments as your mother beckons a servant over and they help your father out of the chair and off to presumably his chambers. And yeah, your mother asks again, "So what details and what story of your travels, child?" And she's going to consider. John goes next.
I think he picks up on how withdrawn and kind of shrewd she's been. And Sir Oliver takes another swirl of his glass and a sip from the red wine. And while she's engaged with Miriah from asking for Miriah's story, Oliver is entirely silent. His eyes are sharp and keen. This is not what he expected. He expected a colder reception from his father, and he expected a much warmer reception from his mother. And because of that, Oliver is trying to pick up where she is, why she's acting the way she is acting, and he's going to also consider.
Okay. Miriah.
Okay, so Miriah is just going to go straight into telling what happened about the arrival of Blackmont at court. She's not going to mention that Daera was the captured spy, but she's going to mention that there was a captured spy and that they were investigating the wards at Summerhall. And she's definitely she's trying to play herself in like, well, I mean, in the truth, like as a complete victim in all of this. Like she had no part in any of what happened to her. She's just a poor defenseless girl, just dragged along. And she's gonna go with a charm.
As you talk about this, you're not sure if this tells or not, but as you describe your victim's story, the night you snuck off with Harris and spoke to Daera plays heavy in your mind. This is deception.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right.
I told you, folks, you lie or you omit something, anything, it's deception. You are covering your tracks.
Okay.
This is deception based. You can use your charm specialty dice from the persuasion ability if you like. If you have act, then you can use that instead if you like.
I do not, but okay. So a deception.
Posting in chat. Deception.
Should we all do our rolls now in order of initiative, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah. So we're doing rolls as we go. So you've taken your turn to consider. That gives you 2 bonus dice.
So I did the wrong thing. I meant
retarget.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do that now quickly? Let's do that quickly.
Yeah. Let's do it.
The cat is covered in fluff. Why are you covered in fluff? Ugh. All right. 14 against her passive deception.
Passive deception.
Do you get any modifiers to that?
Do I? No.
Think so.
No.
You can't quite get anything quite yet. These are where the juicy fruits are at, Don.
No.
Yeah. So she's hasn't said much. She's being very stoic, and she's actively listening to Miriah's story. She's taking it all in. But you are no close to just figuring out where she's at with you, apart from what you've perceived and what I've described, which is that she's been quite stony with you.
All right, rolling my deception, and I got a +5 to that, 15, because I had my cunning rank and half my persuasion rank.
What?
Yeah, I am treacherous and courteous.
Shit! Best fucking thing in the game. 15 is 1 degree of success. This is an influence, right?
Yeah.
Charm influence. Okay, 1 degree. So what is your charm? Is persuasion.
My persuasion rank is 3.
So 3. All right. Cool. Okay. So she asks, that it must have been awful for you at Summerhall. What is it that they did to you? And she's like pressing in on like what did, give us some details, like what did they do, kind of thing. So she is going to influence as well. +2 bonus dice. All right, to do 2 more bonus dice for the consider. I did consider, right? Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. All right. 22.
Oh.
What's your intrigue defense?
Hang on, it ain't 22, but it is 13.
Oh, you've just saved yourself from 4 degrees of success.
Oh.
Well, no, all right. So if it's 10 over, it's 3 degrees. Sorry. So 22, 13. So it's 2 degrees of success. All right. Okay, we're looking at that. We need to do that times 2. 8 influence.
Okay.
minus your DR.
Okay.
You can take some frustration if you like.
Nah, I'm good. I don't need to.
All right. Don.
Oliver sees her turn the corner, his mother, and start to get into things on a level of the personal matters that he feels very protective of in regards to Miriah. And so he interjects with his own story, but he's speaking at a much faster pace. He's changing the rhythm of this conversation as he begins to tell his story.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, Mother, I am recently betrothed to Lady Marcia Greenmont, and because I am betrothed, I feel it is necessary for me to protect House Greenmont and House Ironwood's interests. These vultures that we speak of, that are right across the mountains, they are not strong, but the poor people, the small people, suffer. And now that they have Lord Edmund Blackmont, an enemy to both your house, my house, and the Greenmont house, they could get stronger unless we act now. And I would like to use fast talk, considering he started with a bomb that he's betrothed and then moved on from there.
All right. So this is a persuasion test. It can be deception as well, deception based, versus the target's passive will. All right. You need to get 2 degrees of success. And if you do, your mother will lose her cunning rank from her intrigue defense until the end of the next round. This is
All
a
right.
big one, man. Big one.
Do I get any extra bonus dice for anything?
I'll give you a bonus dice for the passion.
Okay. I'm gonna
and the cool rhythmic stuff.
Spend my only destiny point currently to transform one of my convinced dice into a test die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this will be 6, 4. No, it's only a 14. Is that 2 degrees?
It is not 2 degrees of her passive will.
Well, he tried.
Miriah.
So having she asked about what happened, she's gonna tell her about the night of the kidnapping, basically. The how her friends had been drugged and looked like they'd been beaten, and how she was marched solo alone in a room, dark room with 3 men, and drugged and threatened with a vicious snake, and how scared she was and how she couldn't move, and like her eyes are going to well up with tears, because this is going to be something genuinely traumatic that she's reliving.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just going to be completely honest about just how awful that was, and how it was allowed to happen at Summerhall, how Maekar, he was supposed to protect us, and he allowed this to happen under his roof.
Give yourself 3 bonus dice for telling the story.
Okay. So
these can't go over and above your persuasion rank.
Okay.
And this is persuasion. Because I think if she's being absolute truthful about it, like you've described. I mean, if you want to choose for it to be deception, you can. It's just kind of going to omit something if you want, but it sounds like you're actually being like, no, here's the fucking tea.
No,
it was fucking dreadful.
Yeah, this is how awful and traumatic it was. Okay, so it's just gonna be like straight influence as well. I'm not trying to do anything else. Just gonna start crying at this table.
All right.
With I think, could I use charm as the technique on here?
You can use charm if you like, and this is just basically some kind of like, look at me, aren't I the victim again?
Yeah. Like, I'm not sweet and innocent, and look what awful things happened to me. Okay, so charm. All right. 17.
Nice. 2 degrees of success. And charm works off persuasion rank.
It does. Oh, hang on. Let me just make sure. Oh, no, hang on. It's a 19.
We haven't been adding our modifiers, our persuasion modifiers.
Wait.
Modifiers.
Okay, so 20.
Yeah.
20, and that would have been minus 17 instead of a 14.
Nope.
God.
Damn.
God damn it. No. Soz.
So mine's a 20, all said and done.
20?
Mm-hmm.
2 degrees of success.
Okay, and that is the persuasion rank, so that would be 6 influence.
Thank you. All right. She pauses for a moment, and then she starts up. She lets you know that Maker's men have already been here to look for you. And so, this is not news to me, but we did not know where you were, and we would not have given you up. So she is going to charm as well, in a way. So this is influence, and... $19 all said and done.
2 degrees.
Oof. So that will be 8 influence.
Still in the game.
All right.
Just.
Yeah. And then it is over to Don. To Olyver.
Oliver's trying not to show his frustration at the fact that she's withheld this information until now, that she seems very intent on Miriah, but is kind of disregarding him. So there's a little bit of indignation broiling under the surface for Olyver. He takes a breath and another swig of wine. And he looks aside to Miriah, and he'll say, "My lady, it does not matter that Maker's men have been here. We know that they will look for you. We also know that as long as we get Lord Blackmont and he confesses his crimes before the gods, justice will be done. He will be held accountable, and you will be safe. I am here, Mother, because there is nothing that I would not do for my family. And Lady Miriah is my family." And I want to assist Lady Miriah on her next action, trying to basically embolden her.
All right. You can lend 1/2 your persuasion rank. Rounded down.
Is that rounded up or rounded down? So you gain +1 die on your next.
+1 to the result.
What?
Yeah, assist is a bit pants.
Then instead, I'm just going to influence.
Cool, all right.
I'll just go for straight influence. But emotionally, he's there.
Give yourself 2 emotional bonus dice.
Yay.
Let me just double check. I mean, I'm ignoring the fact that to assist you have to make a test first, and then you can grant a bonus of 1/2 persuasion to their next conflict test result. Yeah, so a result means the sum at the end.
I'll never use that. All right.
Yeah, it's pants. It's fucking pants.
A 14.
That is 1 degree of success, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
you added your modifiers.
Oh no, I did not. So a 17.
Okay. That is 2 degrees of success.
So that will be 8 to their disposition or to their defense.
Oh. Will it? Oh. 8, you say?
8.
Oof. Miriah.
Oh boy. She's clearly, she has a look on her face that she's not entirely 100% on board with the capture Blackmont plan.
I would like to add a little bit of flavour here for Lady Yronwood.
Mm-hmm.
You see, with what Olyver has been saying to her, she is avoiding his gaze, but she is teary-eyed at what he's been saying.
Okay, no, right, change track. She's obviously still, she has that look when he mentions the Blackmont plan. She's like, don't want that. But clocking Mama Ironwood, she's going to she's gonna be really bold, and she's gonna reach across, and she's gonna like take her hand, and she's going to say, Lady Ironwood, your son has been a stalwart protector and loyal member of my house. He practically raised me when my father would not. Know that there isn't anything I would not do for him and for his house. I know we ask of you a great favor in helping me, but I swear that one day I will repay it. I will make him proud. And hopefully by doing so, we will make House Ironwood proud. Keep you, I don't know. And she's very stutters over her words, but she's desperate. She's like trying to be like, she's desperately trying just something.
All right. Careful with technique here, because what this does may win you the intrigue. The consequences of defeat are all unique for each technique, remember, so.
Okay.
Think about your objective here, what you're trying to do, and that will probably inform which technique you use.
I think this is like convince. She's trying to get Mama Ironwood onto the side, so she's going in for the convince.
Cool. Roll persuasion for me. Well, do you mean this? You're going to try and repay it back in like tenfold?
9,000,000%.
All right, cool. Persuasion. Convince.
Okay, where's my sheet?
I'm not giving you any fancy roleplay bonus dice here.
No, I don't want them.
I love the little, I don't know, like she's just trying, That was nice.
Just speaking from the heart, and it's coming out weird. Yeah,
it's a genuine moment.
Do I add anything? Plus 2 to that, so that's 11. No, wait, I forgot my modifier. Hang on. That's 12.
Is 1 degree of success.
Okay, so convince is will rank, right?
Yes, it is.
My will rank is 4.
Okay. She sighs and pulls her hand back from under yours. She looks to Olyver and she confesses that your father suffered a deep depression upon your exile. His firstborn son having been killed. And then you, exiled north, away from us, cast away from the line of succession. It's nearly destroyed him. It's nearly destroyed us. You will excuse me if I am cautious about what you are talking about. And she's choking back the tears as she says that it was Horatio that incited your father against Daemon II, and he commanded our army over you. You think they would follow you now? You are not meant to be here. And tears start to tumble down her cheeks, quietly, silently, as she tries to remain as stoic as she can. So this is going to be influence action, and any cheeky bonus. Actually, you know what? I'm going to reuse one on the I'm going to use a test die.
No.
Yeah, at least one.
Okay.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
2.
You got the test die.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the test die. Jeez, James, come on. Chill. Cool your tits, man. And that a bonus die. Did someone say bonus dice?
I said you get 2.
2.
That was good. Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, yeah.
All right. This was a bit of a bombshell.
A bit.
That's where the juicy fruits are at. I told you. Okay. This is 2 Sir Olyver. I don't think she's actually had an influence action at him yet. So.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, right. No penalty dice.
He looks like he's about to get hit by a train. Let's watch.
25.
So let's see here. I'm going to use my anointed trait to improve all of my passive skills by 5.
Okay.
That's going to be 3 degrees of success.
Not to be a rules lawyer. Actually, is it an action? Is what I wonder.
No, it's just once per day or once per session, it says, I think.
All right, as a free action, I'll let you have that. Fine. 3 degrees.
Intrigue defense, combat defense, and all passive ability results by +5.
By 5. Yeah. So that's 3 degrees of success?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not. It is a 23.
Oh, so that's only 2 degrees of success.
All right. And she is going to do 8 influence.
All right. Okay.
And it is Oliver's turn.
When she begins to lose it, he begins to lose it too. And he reaches out a hand for her hand. Does she take it?
She doesn't take it away.
Okay. And he grips, and his grip is tight, not painfully tight, but tight. And he says, "You will remember that day that I left, Mother. I did not want to go. I did then what I have done my entire life. I sought justice for your son, for my brother. And they sent me away for what? because I did what had to be done. Since then, I have served lords. I have served kings. And everything I have done is to become the kind of man that would be worthy of returning home and knowing they would not hang me for it. I have waited for this moment my entire life. Horatio is cruel. He is a cruel man, but I am not. I am a just man. And if you give me a chance, if you let me lead our men to clean the mountains of these vultures, then they will see me for who I am. And that is all I want. Whatever happens after that, I will deserve. I just ask for you to give me one more chance. And he's going to convince.
All right.
Persuasion.
Give us up a couple of bonus dice there, matey.
Okay. That'll be another 17.
That is 2 degrees of success.
So that'll be 8 points.
You have won the intrigue. Convince. The consequence of defeat is the target agrees to lend assistance or agree with your position, though those who are enemies may use it as an opportunity to betray you. I don't think she's an enemy necessarily, but she will go along or agree with your kind of position. So what would that be? Is she agreeing to something active, or are you just trying to get her on side?
No, I mean, he's basically said, let me take the armies and let me go and capture Blackmont and clean the mountains of the vultures. And if by my leadership, they come to respect me and trust me more, then so be it. If I fail, then you'll know I'm not the one.
She says, you will make your father proud. We are going to take a little comfort break there, folks. Oof. What a sesh. Already. All right. Make sure you stretch, grab some drink of something. Louis break if you need one. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hi again, friends. We're back. I have beer now and a fan. Because these lights, they're like little ovens. Little oven lights roasting my poor face. Oh, can we just talk about how juicy that was for a second?
Can we, though?
Little mini after the fire. Just after each scene, just like, oh, God.
Just expel like 10 pounds of dust from our mouths. It's like, oh, God.
And what does that mean?
I believe the chat's just like, can I have an army too? Like, they didn't just see who I am. Like, can I just have one? Like, Miriah's just like, me too? Yeah.
Symon from Highgarden. Me too.
Yeah.
Clash of kids. Clash of kids. Clash of kids.
I reckon, like,
Sure.
maybe Halloween should be the alternate thing. Because that's a Thursday.
Alternate universe, really?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've got it blocked out in our planner at the moment, so. AU, Halloween, after the fire, AU. It would be cool. All right, let's head back to Highgarden and this intrigue that Symon's involved in. So we didn't finish that off.
No, we didn't. Are you sure?
It's not looking fabby. It's not looking fabby. Did you want to carry on with it?
I can. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, sure.
I can. I'm just very, very nervous.
That's fine. You'll be fine. Would you? Why don't you just? I've lost track, so why don't you go? And then I believe it. Like she's at the top of the round, but why don't you kick it off?
All right. So are we basically picking up where we left off? Like literally, letter on the table, and going from there, or?
Would you like there to have been a progression? I'm quite happy to.
Yeah, I think there would have been a point where around the fourth or fifth course, like as the meal is dwindling down, I'm assuming Lord Weber, is just fucking gone at this point.
I'm good with that. Would you like them to have read the letter? Was that the intention there? Or was this kind of like a play of a prop, like a show of
The thing
flash?
is, I didn't decipher the letter. Not only in my head. Like, really. Like,
That is true.
So I kept it encrypted. So if they ask, I think I probably would have, as a prop, handed it to Lady Crane.
I'll leave that with you.
Yeah, handed it over to Lady Crane as just sort of like this is what I got from Lady Desmera. Interesting reading, huh? And of course, like she can very well try to decipher it, but this is the Greenmont cipher to a non-Greenmont, so
tough cookies.
If she knows it, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
And very worried. Oh God, I'd be so worried.
Everyone knows it now. Now Desmera. No. All right. What's your action here? What's your gambit, man?
Okay. Main objective here is to basically get them angling against Lord Peak in public.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as the meal is dwindling down, there will be a moment where Symon is just sort of staring at his second cup of, I would assume to be Arbor Red, because this is Highgarden and like whatnot.
Yeah, man. And he's Arbor Red from the red wines.
Yeah, from the red wines. Yeah. And there's just this seething nature about him, and as he looks to it, he kind of holds it up. I suppose it would do me a favor unto you. And he points to Lady Redwine. Or not Lady Redwine, who's definitely not there and is nowhere near this scene.
She's just like...
yeah. But to Lady Rowan, and...
Literally.
Yeah. Points to Lady Rowan and says, as a kindness, I suppose I should introduce myself. In full honesty. My name is Symon. That much you know. I do not have a last name. It was deprived of me when I foolishly thought that I would be a Maester in perpetuity. I was dismissed from the Citadel, privately, for devotion and loyalty to family and kingdom, along with a whole host of other sins that I would not do the displeasure of recounting here. But these are irrelevant. You know, as well as I, the power that both of you hold. Stunted by lords who act as drunken squires and schemers who portray themselves as anything but. They allow old wounds to rot. And immediately he thinks about his father's leg and how literally that injury was described to have killed him. And there's an unexpected sort of flush of tears. These wounds fester, and this is only the beginning. Peak is but one, lest we forget the names of Blackfyre and Bitter Steel. And even some in this court who practice those same methods. Charisma and coercion, blackmail. These are all enemies to peace, and Lord Tyrell rests on his laurels when vicious vines grow. Fed by the red grass. I was dismissed. I'm no lord. Could never be a lord. I scarce believe the chivalrous and noble Lord Tyrell would see me as anything but a worm to be squashed. But I need not be in his sight. I do not have an inch to spare when miles are needed to be traversed. Your scope has to expand. You must, in unity, proceed. Face the Lord Peak if you can. Stay close with your family while there are vipers that twist themselves around their necks. And afford me the chance to be with you as you make kings and do justice by the name of Daemon II, King of the Andals, the Rhoynar, and the First Men.
Beautiful. All right, let's roll, man. Let's roll. +3 bonus dice. Like, that's all I can give you according to the book.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. I know there's actually a skill that's like, oh no, you can take more bonus die, but I think that's what considered. 3 is enough.
Right, so dismissed from the Citadel is not the whole truth.
Okay, well, hang on. Okay, maybe, sure. That's technically, yeah, okay.
Deception. Being technically true is deception.
If I had to do deception for my thing, you gotta do deception.
Fair enough. Oh, really? A 13?
1 degree of success, sir.
Great. Cunning rank of 4.
All right. I'm going to summarize and I'll let you really lead the scene. So, she's basically like, well, I can't commit forces as the Marshal of the North March to and yeah, she's trying to bet, and you're kind of waving her down and stuff. So she's kind of putting across her position of like I can't do this. I can help you, but I can't do what you're saying, essentially. This is going to be convince, I think. $17.
With a 9, that's 2 degrees, I think.
Yeah. So it'll
total
be
of
14 and then 19 again. So yeah, so 2 degrees with a convince would be a total of 6 influence.
Oh god. Okay.
Minus your DR, right?
I'm at 1.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
All right. Remember, quit is an option. You can leave.
Yeah, what a surprise. I'm thinking about taking that option.
There are minor repercussions for walking. This would be like you walking out. This wouldn't just be dinner is done and we're all going our separate ways. This would be like, I'm excusing myself from this situation. Quit is one of those kind of actions.
I look to her.
Uh-huh.
I know the position that she's in. And I suppose I should have stayed with my nose buried in a book. I'm sorry. Swine disagrees with me. Lady Crane, I trust that you are one of cunning and tact enough to know what that letter says.
She looks at the Greenmont seal on the letter. She looks at you quizzically for a second, and she says, I confess I do not.
I'm going to go over to her, hold my hand out for the letter.
She gives it to you.
Pocket it, and then whisper its entirety to her.
Okay. Okay. What would you like to do next? Let's move ahead a little bit. Nice juicy fruits.
I should make a note. I do not regard the Lady Dismera as I leave. Or, excuse me, the Lady Rowan as I leave. I simply bow my head, thank her for the meal, and go about the real work.
As you are leaving, you walk down the steps somewhat, and then you hear... It's not like an actual beat, but it's a rattle of a drum, as if what the fuck, the tapper is it called? As if the what? As if the baton or something is like has been like just dropped against it. It's very arrhythmic, and you can hear a little like a little pipe warm up, like a little scale, like something just, and they're coming up the steps. Which I think, if I'm allowed, if you don't mind, makes you stop, makes you turn, head up the steps just a little bit further round. So I just want to introduce a little bit to you that's not going to be any actual danger to you or anything, but
sure,
it's something interesting would have happened. So two musicians come to the door and knock and ask to gain entrance to entertain the dinner guests. And they are refused. And they give each other a look. Once the door is closed, they give each other a knowing look. Kind of out of character look. And then shrug, kind of take on the mummer, frivolity of expression, head back down the stairs.
I sort of stay at the top. Is there like a turret window or something that sort of leads to the skyline, as it were?
You can see out of an arrow slit, yeah.
I'm just going to look at Miriah's star for a moment. Just pause and then go find a place to rest my head.
Okay.
Little addendum. During the course of the dinner, I would have mentioned that Lord Bulward seems to be having a bit of trouble. He seems to be going into something unprepared, would be nice if somebody were to help him.
Okay.
And just leave it at that.
Sure. All right.
I stand back. I straighten my shoulders, hands and sleeves, and depart from this lovely tower.
All right. You find somewhere transitory to rest your head. A hedgerow, ditch, bench, something. But over the next day or so, really, this is very quite freeform. Like, is there anything else you want to get up to? Much more generally that we can resolve in some test rolls if you wanted to.
Sure. Keeping an ear out for the situation with Lord Peak, just common rumors and whatnot, speculation that people could be engaging in, and also solidifying my knowledge of Dismera's network. I want to see how it operates, who exactly is a member of it, and if they might have access to some information regarding the Lord Peak's affairs.
Okay. So this is your specialty, really, isn't it? So let's roll knowledge streetwise.
Okay. Perfectly fine.
Your knowledge focus will definitely apply.
Okay. So this would be, I'm assuming, the underworld?
Yeah.
All right. So now I've got to figure out exactly how it works. Because it's a little bit wonky, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So this is always based on how much time you want to commit to doing this stuff.
Okay. Okay, so when testing knowledge in the chosen areas, convert education bonus dice into test dice. So this is a streetwise check, which is something completely different, right?
No, a knowledge check is you testing knowledge streetwise. Streetwise is a specialty of knowledge.
Yes, but the knowledge focus is specifically for converting education bonus die into test die.
Okay, so it won't convert
those
bonus dice. All right.
That's all right.
So if you're using to acquire information, got my pen. The difficulty depends on how much time you spend haunting an area.
I'll say that I spend the next day haunting just Highgarden.
Okay.
Ooh, the Haunt of Highgarden. That's it.
Haunt of Highgarden.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so this is a challenging 9 difficulty test. And each degree of success will get you a bit more information. Honestly, what I might have to do is, if you're asking some questions, I might have to go away and think about it and then give you the answers, like
perfectly fine.
in between
perfectly
sessions or next week or whenever you're next playing or something. Like,
this will be like just sort of me catching up for the month. So Peak, Tarly, and the rest of them, they're over in certifiably in Fox Hollow, right?
Yes.
And I can certify. Well, with a 21, that's how many degrees? That's...
Oh, you rolled. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. Right.
Oh, good.
19's 2... Is it? No. 19 is 3 degrees. It's 3 degrees of success.
Okay, so first question, basically, Lord Peak and everything else, they're certifiably in Fox Hollow. I may not know like the specifics, but they're using that as a base of operations.
Absolutely. It is Peak, Tarly, and the Young Oak.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Wonderful.
They've rocked up with an army, combined forces, mostly made of Tarly's men, some of Peak's, and some Oakheart that they've managed to get there over this period of this last month.
Based off of rumor and speculation, does it seem, and this will be the second question, does it seem that the Lord Peak is truly in charge of the army, or is this, you're just the figurehead?
That's what you're hearing, yeah.
Okay. So it's really that sense of like, hey, you're kind of an asshole, but we can't really say anything, like, sort of thing? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of, he's the dude in charge, most definitely.
All right. Then the next question I would have then concerns the affairs of Fox Hollow. Is it true that Marcia has had 2 sons?
From what you hear, yes.
Certifiably.
you can't certify
Well, obviously.
people speaking and conversations and rumors, but by all accounts, she's had 2 boys.
Fantastic. Twins. Wonderful. So good for her.
I mean, you only hear literally a couple of conversations about this.
Yeah.
Whereas
highly esoteric knowledge.
Yeah, whereas like everyone else is talking about the conversations you want to hear. People are talking about the army in the south, and they're now the Southern Rangers again, and they're going to go out and they're going to bash some Dornish dudes. You know?
Great. Then, is there a space where there's some like courtly documents or something like that?
So, and I've never had someone roll this yet. This is a research test.
Yeah.
So let's do a separate one. So you've got one more question left of those 3.
Yeah.
If you want something really, really like
specific.
Yeah,
but basically, I want to, if there are historical financial records or something of the like that either the Maester or somebody else has, Master of Coin most likely, now that I think about it.
Who is his Maester again?
Godwin, I want to say, something like that.
Godric,
that was it.
Godric.
I basically want to... Yeah. I'll offer up my groats in exchange for access for maybe like an hour, or like access to an inconsequential financial tome, like a record of taxes or some such nonsense.
All right, let's resolve that in a second, because I'll do a couple of rolls, like a bargain roll, and I'll do a research roll if you get in.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have a third question right now, we can figure it out a bit later. Or if you do have a third question that you want to get from the rumor mill, then we can do that.
How highly regarded, or how well regarded, is Lord Peak within these halls?
Oh man, it absolutely fucking depends who you're listening to.
Okay.
You've got like, and it's red and black again, man. It's red and black. It's like, obviously we're so kind of Peak's not around here. Where's my damn sheet? Come on, Sam. Where's my house actions? Give me one little tick, right? Okay. New spreadsheet, who dis? Merryweather. Loves the guy. Thinks he's great. Merryweather was Sad Santa, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Merryweather. Loves the guy. Thinks he's great. Lord Tyrell. From what you hear, kind of respects the guy. That's why he didn't just, like, get his guards on him or do something crazy in court.
Difference between a fop and a fascist, I get you, yeah.
He doesn't like him because he backed the wrong side and he was one of the biggest players. Let's not forget, at least in my headcanon and in the podcast we listen to, is like headcanon, like he led like a flank.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure Sir Olyver was like under him in like on that flank. Yes, Don, like under him. Or led the other flank. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, because we're like Sir Olyver led some flank. I don't know.
Spears were being thrown everywhere. It was a very very hard time.
But Peak was like, well, that was the thing, right? Okay, so I'll give you this. Peak was like, I want to be your general, and he was like, yeah, but Fireball's my general. So there was this whole like, Peak had a real, you know. I can't even think of how else to say it. Like,
then say it the way that you think it should be said.
He had the real horn for like wanting to be the fucking leader of this army and to be Daeron's like he was gonna be Daeron's hand, Daemon's hand if he'd won the Blackfyre rebellion.
If
that's what he was like, that's what he was
gunning for.
Yeah, that's what he was pinning his hopes on. Right.
So he really wanted this. I know that it was mentioned before, but it really just seemed like, oh, well, of course he'd be the hand. He's got 3 castles. And then now it's revealed that there's this emotional connection.
He was his biggest backer. He was the top pledge, top tier backer. Okay. He went all in. And he fucked it all up. So Tyrell's like, you're respected. You've got a long lineage. You had 3 amazing castles.
Mm-hmm.
Daemon, bless him, took 2 of them away.
Mm-hmm.
And so he didn't really like the guy. Because there are still these lines have been drawn. Lord Hightower doesn't like him. Thinks he's an arsehole. No. Hightower, like, didn't really fight for anybody, but, like, now you ask him, oh, yeah, no, Daemon, totally, yeah, the Red Dragon all the way, yep.
Surprise, okay.
Definitely a Targy. House Florent, I think Florent are quite... Because Peak comes from a long lineage, like, anyone who traces their lineage back to... Garth Greenhand,
all that shit.
Yeah, they're all pompous and like, look at us, we've been here since the first men. Like, we are the frickin' first men kind of stuff. Florent's like that. Florent the Fox, right? So they've got like big ears and stuff. That's their trope, I think. Yeah, Susie's nodding.
Well,
she knows more than I do. Yeah, so like they're like, bit of a twat. House Ashford of Ashford. Again, they were Targaryen loyalists. They fought for Lord Longthorn Lord Tyrell when he went and fought Merryweather, when he went and fought and put down that. So this is the thing about the Reach, is that Lord Leo did a lot of work of actually putting down the rebellious houses in the Reach. He didn't get to the Redgrass Field.
Yeah, I remember.
So there's actually quite a lot of bitter blood around this realm, and. Ashford are obviously a loyalist house, and the conversation you're hearing now, at least, is very, the guy's a dick. Like, but because maybe because of current affairs, maybe they have a long-standing hate relationship. You're not sure.
But the general consensus is he's not making any friends anytime soon.
Yeah. Lord Oakhart. Weirdly ambivalent to the guy.
Noticeably ambivalent to the guy?
If you notice it, then yeah.
Uh-huh.
Ambivalent to the guy. Yeah. Lady Crane? Yeah, not a fan. Fossaway? Not a fan. House Ball are not at court. House Caswell of Bitterbridge, Targaryen loyalists, so current affairs wise, they're not a fan. House Hunt are a Blackfyre supporting house, or were at least. And so while House Hunt is a Reacher house, and it is quite close to the northern border of the Red Mountains, I think, in my
I believe so, yeah.
head canony map that I've downloaded. Right. So while they haven't supported him specifically, the conversations you have heard are very kind of, like, good for him. Like, he's trying to defend his. Trying to defend his place, Yeah, so they're on the western side, just under the Tarleys, actually, basically over the mountains from Blackmont.
Oh.
And the Danes.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, they're close. They're a Reacher house, so they're or a Marcher house, so they're gonna be fairly sympathetic to what Peak's doing, because they will have, over the centuries, over the millennia, borne the brunt of Dornish raids.
Yep.
Call me. Good bloke all round. From what you can gather of, I'm actually going to say that you don't have an opportunity to get close again to House Rowan. You don't know their position. You don't hear about their position.
Fair enough.
And then the last remaining one here in court is House Costain, and they are quietly fans. Yeah.
Good.
All right. That's my roundup of House of Thrones, House of Reacher's house, Reacher Thrones.
Just a quick temp check on the patient as they recover.
Two of you will not get the joke I was about to make about the football announcements. Susie will get it, though. And Tom will get it in chat. I can't even think of anything. Crystal Palace 1. Derby County 0. It was all very, like... reading the football scores was very... Anyway.
Or the weather, the shipping forecast.
Yeah, no, it's literally like that. So we have, like, the BBC still do this, where they literally just have a guy for, like, 10 minutes just read out all the results on a Saturday.
Wow.
Norwich City, 5. Charlton Athletic, 12. I don't know what football scores are. No, I know, I'm joking. All right. Let's get this back on track. Shall we? All right, so you head over to Godric's quarters at the foot of one of the towers built by the first men of this castle. A nice square, old brickwork styled, or not brickwork, but like old stonework style tower.
Bloody fucking towers. Just kind of
right.
Whisper that to himself. Just fucking stop.
Yeah, and it's fairly bright day today. Cracks up the side of it. There's some windows above that have actually been like chipped at the kind of balcony, the sill, and they're like around the edging. And like this is an old kind of. It's not a rookery, but I forget what an actual like where you keep ravens and stuff. I'm gonna call it a rookery because fuck it. Yeah. So it's these Maester's towers. This one is fairly tall.
Oh, great.
Yeah. But at the foot of this, you open the door and straight away walk into what looks almost like an apothecary's shop. Like poultices on the shelves, desks, and this like smell hits you of like herbs, spices, a little bit of offal, like some bile, and like just this heady mix of like sharp ammonia almost. Right.
Great. Love that smell.
And Godric is working at one of his stations as something bubbles away on his table. Let me get my Maester up. Hang on. He's gonna roll to recognize you.
Fair enough.
I think this is gonna be like 15. He's probably been here a while.
Yeah.
Probably bumped into each other maybe once.
Yeah.
Whilst at the Citadel.
Oh, he doesn't have a Master of Coin. Duh. He doesn't. Or Lord Treasurer.
He looks at you for a second.
Wait, he doesn't have them. Or no, the Maester quality doesn't actually apply to cunning checks. Oddly enough.
There we go. I'm only using a secondary character as well, so I haven't given any qualities.
Sure.
So, yeah. I like it as well. The dice tell the story. He just, like... He is that kind of... It's on the tip of his tongue, and he's like, I know who you are, I just don't know who you are. Like... How can I help? It's like, I just suddenly finds the words out of his days.
In many ways, good Maester. I just sort of like internal screaming of like, yes, he doesn't recognize me, wonderful. And he'll step forward. I actually am entreating you on behalf of Lady Desmera. She has requested that I investigate the goings-on of certain houses within the Reach, both financial and personal. I hope and trust you would not do me the pains of having to drag her up from wherever she roams and to ascend this bloody tower.
All right, I want you to roll me a deception test. This is going to just be against his passive will, which I've got here. It's a secondary character. I'll let you know it's a 12. If you critically fail, then we're fucked. But if you fail, so don't get under 7.
Don't get under 7.
Yeah, because a crit fail is 5 under.
Now that you say that.
But okay. I was going to say, all right, if you don't get this, he basically needs his. He needs his. What's the phrase like when you like give someone coin? It's like palm something. They're palm oiled or something, isn't it? Like
grease his palms.
They need their palm greased, right? So, he is, oh, just yes, Lady Red Wine, yes. Well, and it's very kind of. She usually makes a small donation to the healing of some of our ill and sick, and rambles on about like, give me some coin.
Yes, she had told me, of course, of this. I do so apologize. I had hastily assembled what I could, of course. I'll hand over 20 halfpennies, 2 groats, and just sort of like give it to him very appreciatively.
He takes it without looking and then points you up the stairs. There's a 3rd door upstairs. And then you just catch him and he looks at it. He's just like, oh. Like, it's just as you walk upstairs.
I'll yell back, just as a secondary offer, I guess, as sort of a bargaining tactic. There's another 2 if you can point me to the records of Randall Hightower. But, I've so much reading to do. Oh,
then you'll want two doors down.
He holds up the 2 groats.
Do
you see this? They'll be in your palm when I'm finished.
Feel free. He like sidles off to his workstation again.
Fucking moron! Just walk straight up
so you've got this tall tower, but you've also got the steps actually that go down into a basement.
Ooh, good.
And walking down there, walking through a barred door, actually, like a iron bar door, just then loose in that kind of Maester style, because like they lock certain books away and all this kind of stuff. So he's kind of got that. The lock's not on it, like it's just you can just open it and stuff at the moment, right? But a couple doors down, you open up and it's this like dusty, dark. You have to take either like take a torch from a sconce, or you have to like light a little candle, and take it on a little candlestick. And it is this dusty as all heck, like cobwebs. There's probably like there's some rat skeletons around your feet.
Just cover my mouth and be like, okay, this.
You thought the poultices up in the first floor were bad. Like this is terrible. It's damp. It's dusty. It's manky. It smells of like the swamp or something. It's dreadful. But you've got paper like no books. You've got paper records and ledgers and like ancient folders and stuff, probably dating back thousands of years. Probably even some like slate kind of carved into some stone at the very back where the first men will have been. You've got the records, Highgarden's records right here in front of you.
Just slam the candlestick down on the desk and just move on. Just try to find the most recent shit and anything concerning Peak, Tarley, and Costain, actually.
Okay. Where are we? Research. The test difficulty depends on the obscurity of the subject and use the same difficulty described under education. Okay.
Okay.
So I think you're looking for guarded knowledge, because this is like, what are you looking for specifically? Because I'm guessing like it's for like financial records. Like, what are they looking like in terms of holdings and armies and stuff? What are they registered basically with the tax man?
What if they registered for the crown, and what could have given Peake the confidence? Like, that's the sort of sub question that I'm asking. Of like, the over question is, what the fuck do these people have? The sub question is, why would Peake, who's just been robbed of his castles 2 years ago, suddenly be like in a comfortable enough financial position to refuse his liege lord taxes?
Okay.
Like, so I'm basically trying to make a murder board.
Okay.
Like, really.
Sure.
I wish there were another way to put it, but this is what I'm doing.
All right.
I got nothing for you, Jack.
Larger libraries are likely to hold the information you seek, but sifting through the often disorganized mess takes far more time. In addition, with larger collections come more opportunities to become lost, misled, or follow the wrong line of research. You are in a huge collection, up to several score books, in quote marks. The equivalent would be like the Library of Winterfell. So the Library of Highgarden. This is it, right?
Sure.
You need... You're about to make me a lot of research rolls. You need to make me 6.
Oh fuck.
I don't really understand this.
Wait, I have to make 6 research rolls? Hang on.
The number of successes needed to find the information depends on the library's size.
Okay.
Successful research tests, 6.
I need...
As you gain successes, you may I can provide information to mark your progress. Once you begin, you can leave the process, returning later, retaining all previously acquired successes, assuming the library is as you left it. All right, let's simplify this a bit. Let's skip ahead a bit. So I'm just going to make it harder. This is difficulty 21.
Oh, good.
To find exactly what you need today is difficulty 21. If you fail, then we could have you lost down here for a while, and maybe you miss something.
Lose track of time.
Yeah. We could. Well, I'll figure out a narrative cost. I reckon. Yeah. All right. Yeah. 21. Fail. You lose track of time. Crit fail. You're here and miss out on something big.
All right. Education dice are irrelevant here. This is just straight knowledge because I have nothing in research.
Yeah, so that would be a specialty if you've got it, but no. 21.
15. Fuck.
That is a crit fail.
No.
Wow, what? 3 1s, man. That is dangerous. All right.
I just imagine that half of these records, because they're in such disarray, I just lose myself in this conquest. I'm like, wait a minute, no, this is 186. Why is it stuck with like 93?
Some previous Maester has established a loose leaf filing system.
Oh, fuck you.
And Godric was just like, you know what? This pile I found just go together, and they're gonna go in that shelf. Like, I'm tidying. I will keep my records fine, but fuck the other guy. That's what I'm thinking. They don't make any sense. They're just everywhere. Highgarden tax reports are just dreadful. I'm sorry.
I am going to go down to the fucking Maester, and I assume that hours have passed. Like, this is something that he has lost himself in. Like, maybe he found like a few threads.
You head up to the first floor to see the Maester, and he isn't there. The door is closed.
I'll knock on the door.
Well, sorry. So you walk down. So you walk back up the steps.
Yeah.
And you see there's a staircase leading up to the second floor and above. You look over. You can his shop, his little apothecary kind of lab is there, and it's the front door to the tower that you came in is closed.
I'm locked in the tower? Or wait.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm going to go back to that bastard's shop. I'm going to find, or I'm going to just take a look around. What has he got? Like in his stores?
He's got what you might expect to find. So he's got some like piss poor wine to boil in case of an injuries. He's got like poultices. He's got like milk of the poppy.
So you got a knife?
Yeah, of course.
Good. I'm taking the knife.
All right. You have a knife.
Yep.
Stats are in the back of the book.
Yep. Fine enough. And do I have? I'll assume this will require a roll.
Yeah.
So just, obviously he's a very busy alchemist, experiments with a lot of things. So there's just like a little thing of poison somewhere in the room, maybe.
Do you want to
Just
spend
something-
time looking for this, or do you want to do it quickly?
I'm locked in a fucking tower, so yeah, let's spend like 30 solid fucking minutes.
Someone.
I don't even know what time it is, do I? I assume that Symon has been like in the middle of this dark dungeon-esque tower, and it's like it's like that episode of Breaking Bad where they can't get rid of that fucking fly. So it's just his mind is kind of scattered at this point.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh well, I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. God. I mean, there's Tansy here, which can be used to make moon tea. Roll me a d10 on Roll20.
I'll roll the D10.
Roll me a d10.
Okay, sure. Yeah, fuck it. D10. Not D19. D10. A 9.
5, 6,
7,
7, 8, 9. He has some. You find 1 vial of widow's blood.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Are you fucking kidding me? How much do I know about this? Time out. I want a knowledge roll, like just straight up so that I can know the effects of this. I have nothing in
Roll me
alchemy.
Roll me healing.
Healing?
Yep, roll me healing.
Oh, God.
And education bonus dice apply.
What was that?
So
Education?
roll healing, but education bonus dice from
Gotcha.
knowledge can apply here.
9.
Okay.
I know it's a poison.
Well, that's good because the diagnosis is 9. Okay, so
Oh.
widow's blood is a virulent poison that cripples a victim's bowels and bladder. The victim slowly drowns in their own toxins over a number of days.
Like mouth agape, I just stare at this vial. Ew, this is horrendous.
This is pretty fucking bad. Like,
Yeah, no.
if they succumb to the effects of the poison, it's just a ticking clock.
You have no system in place to keep your records straight. But this, what psychopathic mind, what cruel, who hurt you? I just quickly pocket that shit and go back to the reading. I don't even want to process why Godric has a vial of widow's blood just hanging out in his office.
All right.
I'll try another crack because I'm assuming I'm stuck here for all intents and purposes because I've got no thievery. I'm not kicking down this door.
That's all you got, and I think you eventually succumb to curling up in a corner and kipping for what is probably the night time. You're not sure.
I'm tired enough to where it feels like night.
Sure.
It feels like nap time.
Yeah, feels like nap time. Miriah. We're going to head back over to Ironwood. You are out in the yard, crossing towards the keep. You've enjoyed a little bit of the day. It's actually a quite bright spring day in Ironwood, and even just over the mountains, the climate here is so different. It's even just spring. It's sunny. It's dry. The mountains take a lot of the brunt of the weather, even from the Stormlands and even around like Westermont and the Sea of Dawn. It's the Stormlands is so called because they manage to take the brunt of it, and just underneath Dawn is this, what to some like desolate place, to others this paradise of sun and heat, low humidity, all that kind of cool stuff. Walking back with Daemon, and you have an opportunity to ask her what you need.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine that they've actually just kind of been like idly chatting, and while they've been out walking, and Miriel probably like asked her about what she used to do before, and all everything happened before they met and all that kind of stuff. But as they're walking, she gets quiet, like she's chewing on something, and she says, Daemon, before my uncle captured you, you were a spy, is that correct?
That is correct, my lady.
I imagine part of that was getting messages places, communicating with others.
It was.
Before I left Vulture's Roost, my uncle asked me a favor. He asked if I could get word about what happened to him to his family at Blackmont.
She seems somewhat surprised. Her brow goes up for a second. But she kind of stands, puts her weight on one leg, cocks a hip, and kind of folds her arms and kind of waits with just the slightest of smiles to see what you want to say.
He asked that I warn them about what might happen to them once people find out that he is, well, the Vulture King now. And though what he did was reckless and dangerous, got us branded both traitor and could have ended in our deaths, he did get me out of Summerhall, and I am grateful for that. So I would like to do this favor for him.
You truly feel honor bound to him for that.
I do.
I have heard more ridiculous reasons.
Well, when you say it out loud, it does sound quite ridiculous.
My lady.
How would we go about doing that?
It might actually be easier if I just saw to that, my lady. There's such thing as plausible deniability.
What about you if you were caught?
I've only been caught once.
You would do that for me?
As I am honor bound to you.
I have to ask, David, why?
We are meant for something more in this world than the lofty lords of these 7 kingdoms seem to think we are.
Miriah gets she's trying to hide it a bit, but she does get that little crafty smile.
Your god's father might want to protect you, might want to keep you a young lady, even possibly teach you to fight in the Dornish style. But I have a different set of aptitudes. I can teach you to be much more savvy than the lords of these kingdoms would take you for.
And you would do that? You would teach me? And what in terms of payment would you want for that?
Just protection. Politically, I would imagine. Anything you could do could. And she trails off just as she looks, and there are 3 kind of guardsmen walking up towards you, and the abruptness of her stopping makes you imagine that this like clandestine conversation that you're having is one to just kind of keep on the down low. As they walk by, these guardians of the Stoneway, as you've learnt they are called, these garrison men, all stare at Daemon as they walk past. 2 of them, on one side, and 1 of them on the other, circling the 2 of you. Finally, one with a thick but short black beard, in lightly tanned skin, dark brown, piercing eyes, looks at the 2 of you, turns and says, "What is a Stormlands bastard doing here? Huh?" And there is an exchange between them and Daemon of thinly veiled insults before, from behind Daemon, one of them clocks her with a fist in the neck. I want you to grab Daemon's sheet and roll initiative for me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, 10. What a fucking coward hitting her from behind. Ugh.
Did she got a 9 there, right?
Yeah. Why is it showing up as 10? Oh, 9, sorry. Yeah, I read yours as 10. Never mind.
No,
She got 9.
10.
I can
Yeah.
read.
Alright, so I'll resolve that. I'm going to roll their fighting. This will go off brawling, right?
Mhm.
Which she has a little bit of bonus die in.
She do.
11 against her combat defense.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Cool. Alright. That actually does, so it's like athletics -2 or something. Oh, I wrote this down because I was... No, this is coming. 1 damage.
Oh.
Yeah.
But she has an armor rating of 2, so that's absorbed, right?
It's safe here in the neck. I'm not going to let that apply.
Okay. I think she should turn around and clock him back.
Yeah, alright.
Punch him. Right, I think I set this up for just a fist in here. 16.
Oh!
Wait. Is that right?
She's kept 4 dice, lost 2. So she got 2 in brawling. 2 bonus dice in brawling.
No, she has 1 in brawling.
Oh, so where's that?
Did I do that wrong?
I like it, fuck it. And I like it because it's 3 degrees of success.
Oh.
And it would still fit even if it was 1 bonus die, because then it would just be the lowest one that's dropped, which was a 1.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So it's athletics -3, right?
Yeah.
She's got 3 in athletics.
So base 1. So 3 damage. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just forego armor rating for this because like
Okay,
it's trash and we're punching each other in the face. All right. Oh no, sorry. So let's delete that. That was in the wrong thing. Okay. So he takes it like square in the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Spits into the ground. You see a little drop of blood there. Do you want to get involved? That fucking face, man.
I'm gonna say yes.
All right. So you know this whole like trying to do an intrigue with the combat and like trying to like us getting you to spend a destiny point and stuff. I fucking realized you could run this stuff directly in parallel. And just on your turn, you decide to do an intrigue thing, and that goes against their composure. Like, it's... Just do that. Yeah, Frax asked if Miriah has a stabby thing.
Miriah does not have a stabby thing.
All right.
What happened to her stabbing rock?
She can keep a rock with her throughout all of
come
the
on.
Pet
rest.
stabbing rock.
She was captured and made a prisoner. I don't think they would let her have a stabbing rock as a prisoner.
No.
Yeah, probably.
This sharp rock, we're taking that away. Sorry.
No rock. Sorry, love.
Yeah. Retired stab rock. Okay, right.
It's retired, yeah.
Well, it depends. Was the rock under 6 inches? Because then they could allow it, but...
Yeah, right.
I think Miriah just shouts out, "Stop this right now."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna, I don't know, like a status, like...
So, persuasion.
Persuasion? That works better for me.
Persuasion convince. Yeah,
Okay.
that is a...
Okay, let's go. Bam. 15. Oh,
All
wait,
right.
hang on. Let me just make sure I don't add anything else to persuasion. I can't remember. I have so many things.
That's a mood.
No, I'm not using charm. Nope. So it's just 15. 2 degrees.
2 degrees. What's the... So, convince would be will rank times 2.
8.
8. Oof. Okay. Okay. So you shout at the guy that's been smacked.
Mhm.
You need to target somebody. And he has pause for thought, but the other two are going into attack. So let's resolve their shenanigans. No other bonus dice. A 10 against her combat defense.
Yep.
1 times however many degrees.
It's just 1.
All right. And we'll go again. The 15 this time.
Oof. Okay, yeah, that's 2.
All right. So 2 damage.
2 damage. All right, she's still in it.
Yep. Daira.
All right, she's gonna swing back.
Mm-hmm.
Did the one that punched her, did he seem to be like the little leader of that gang? It was because he was the one that took the first. No, he hit from behind, right?
No, it was the gobby cunt in front of her.
Yeah. She's gonna.
Don't tell my mum I said that.
She's gonna go for the gobby gentleman.
Yeah, the gobby one. That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a 15.
Heyo. I'm gonna have to name this one Gobby now. Gobby.
Gobshite.
Gobby. Dobby hit her, and Jobby. Jobby is the other one. D, G, and J. So she hit Gobby, did she?
Mm-hmm.
For 2 degrees.
So that's 2 damage.
Wait, no. Yes, 2 degrees. 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As she like, well, what does she go for? What kind of punch does she go for?
Why don't you try and break his nose?
Nice, just like square, like
Just right in the face.
Yeah. Like he manages to duck and weave just out the way, but he has to take a step back or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's definitely going for like it's a very back the fuck away from me, but if you get too close, I'm going to smash your face into pieces, kind of like fighting.
Nice, all right, she's going easy. Wow, okay. Back down to you.
Okay, Miriah is then just going to I think she's going to keep pressing the one she's been shouting at, and she's going to say, "This woman is under the protection of Lord Olyver Yronwood."
Oof. Yeah, man.
And she's going to be like,
Persuasion, convince.
All right, let me get back to my sheet. Persuasion.
Is this, so you targeted Dobby before? Is this still Dobby?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to, like, take them down one by one with intrigue, the composure, right?
Yeah, she's going after Dobby. As soon as she addressed him the first time.
I can imagine her, like, he's well, no, did he get hit? Yeah, he got hit. So he's, like, I can imagine him barreled over, and, like, Miri's just kind of walked, like, right up to him and been like, listen here.
Oi. Fucking listen here, son. All right, let's go. 7.
No.
Miriah, please.
No. Don, you built these Guardians of the Stoneway. They have a better intrigue defense than they do a combat defense. Although, to be fair, that is because of their armor penalty. Anyway. Alright. So, that does not get through. He just looks at you and, like, turns. So, it's going to be Dobby to start. And he goes in and tries to hit Daemon in the side of the ribs.
Yep.
If this is all 1 damage base, we know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like maybe 1 degree.
Yeah.
And then Gobby, as she gets hit in the side, is going to try and go like for her base. It's got modifier, but it's got no bonus dice thing. It's weird. Okay, whatever. Oh, 15.
Okay, that's 2.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, she's looking rough.
And then Jobby coming in from the other side.
Mm-hmm. That'd be
pushing her.
That's 2 again. Can we take wounds?
Yeah, of course. Take injuries. Yeah. Injury. Reduce it by your endurance rank.
Oh, what's her endurance rank?
Like 3.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, she'll take an injury.
Okay, so that's -1 to your results, not your tests. Not your test dice, just results.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, so she's pushed, she rolls her ankle. Like as she's pushed, I think. So it's a bit of a sprain. It's not a proper injury, but it's like you can see as she grits her teeth as she rolls over on it, and she just kind of hobbles to try and like stand her ground again. And it's her turn.
I just had a thought.
Yep.
The cohort thing, the +2 to combat defense, does that only apply to me?
Yes, it does. Yeah, okay. She protects you.
Gotcha. Yeah. Just thought I'd double check.
Just start punching them.
Yeah, I think Miria's just gonna like launch at one of them.
Like lay on them, just like ah! All right.
She'd probably heal him. She just got like 2. She's like a minus to damage, so she'd just literally be like slapping him. But
base 1 damage. Base 1 damage.
Base 1. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing some damage. So it is Daemon's turn.
Daemon's turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Alright. She's just gonna try and lay out Gobby. She's just gonna try and lay him out. He's fucking messing her around. Dara, she's a.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Dara's gonna.
She's a. Yeah, not Miriah. Yeah. Miriah's not gonna try and lay someone out.
Discharge. All right, so like, so we do have we've been skirting over them. We do have some options. So like, knockdown. They fall prone and stuff. You have +1 dice on fighting tests against prone opponents. Reckless attack, gain a dice, lose 5 combat defense. Cautious attack, lose a dice but gain 3 combat defense. Charge, she could like run and a -1 dice get +2 base weapon damage, which isn't bad. She just like pile drives into somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You can do kind of like a 2-weapon attack, and because fists have the offhand +1 quality, that will increase the base damage by 2 as she just like smacks them with both fists.
On 1, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's. She's like she properly squares up and gives him the.
All right. Cool. So this is just like a normal test. It's a greater attack, but that's fine. You've got your whole turn to do this, and then +1 to the base damage, so it's 2 instead of 1.
All right.
To Gobby, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
16.
Oh, hello. That is 3 degrees of success. So
that'd be 3 times 3, right?
Yeah. She
9.
Gobby hits the deck. So yeah, she knocks him out. Well, I don't think you kill him in this instance.
No, and I don't feel like I think she'd be smart enough to not kill a guard on the grounds, right? She's just gonna knock him out in self-defense.
But she defeats the guard, so it's up to you how he.
Yeah. I'd like her for her to knock him out.
Okay. I mean, literally everything from that to taking the black is kind of an option.
To the wall, motherfucker.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Well, we could play that out as you line them all up and it's like, these guys started on us, they're gonna fucking go to the wall, it could happen.
Could happen.
Yeah. It's your choice, your narrative choice.
I like her just knocking him out.
All right, he's knocked out. It is your turn.
Okay, I feel like Done that salt.
He's itching, man. Itching.
I think Miriah will immediately just move to Daira's side and start doing the come on, let's leave. Let's go. Like one's knocked out. The other has gotten a good good punch. Let's leave. And Miriah, I think she would turn to the others and just be, that's enough.
All right. They yield as they pick up their mate, who's been out for a few seconds and is realistic. He's not knocked out for hours or anything, but he is just oh, fuck, as they pick him up. I'm trying to think. I want Daira to have some parting words. So, what would they be? I think I don't know. Maybe she doesn't.
I feel like she's probably I might be some Stormland's bitch, but I did just knock you on your fucking ass, son. Something along those lines.
More or less, literally, yeah. She gets quite gravelly and quite kind of small folk in the way she says it, in a way that you haven't properly seen yet. You can imagine that she has worn many faces in her time, and kind of small folk wench has been one of those. But she has to lean on you and limp back. But she doesn't. She tries not to limp back, but she does kind of take your shoulder, and then you do feel her just gradually limp.
Yeah. She looks in a bad way too, right? Because she got quite a few good punches on her.
Yeah.
I feel like I take her to the Maester.
Okay.
To have a look at.
Sure. So this would be. So this would take a day to heal, really, which is fine. But we can get a healing check done on her. So this is treat injury. Do you want? Well, so for this next day, do you want her out of action, or do you want her to still follow you around?
No. She's gonna rest up, and Miriah would be like, "You do not move."
Okay. So that is not. Oh no, it's on here. So this is difficulty 6, and this is going to be treat injury, which is 4 dice.
Ooh,
looking pretty good. It's a Maester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. So he supports the ankle in whatever way he can. He just says, just rest off it for now. And she entreats that you leave her alone with... Actually, she kind of through a little bit of like visual cues, little expressions, she's nodding to you towards the Maester to be like, talk to the Maester, do something with the Maester.
Mm-hmm.
Get the Maester out of here. Like, you know.
Yeah, so Miriah would at the cues from Daira, she would just like distract the Maester with talk about inquiries about sending a raven somewhere, and that she would like to see the ravens, and you know, just like distracting talk about.
Daira's like,
Miriah's like, just trust me, just.
well, so he takes you up to the top of the rookery, and Daira follows you up, like kind of pushing herself up on the walls of this narrow tower.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get to the top, she stands behind you, and I want you to roll deception for me.
Okay. Oops, nope, that's endurance. Click wrong one. Whoops. Cancel. Hang on. Add cunning rank to deception, so that's 14.
What?
No, wait. And half my persuasion rank. So that's 15.
And half of your persuasion rank.
Yeah, uncourteous, add half your persuasion rank to deception test results. And treacherous, I add my cunning rank, so that's +5.
You lying son of a bitch. Alright. And you managed to fast talk the Maester. I really want Don here. You managed to fast talk the Maester back down the steps and out of the door, to which, for you at least, it's noticeable that Daira is not there with you as you head back down the stairs. Olyver, you see a single raven fly from the rookery, from the Maester's tower. What are you doing in preparation for taking these troops out of Yronwood?
So I think he would have had a conversation with Miriah before he started his planning, to give her the choice. Do you want to stay here with Daira and Castle Yronwood, or do you want to travel with us?
Okay, I think timing-wise, this can still happen after she's gone to the rookery.
Okay.
So you guys, you guys actually meet up. She's talking to the Maester, who's seen her out back into the yard. You've heard there's been a fight in the yard with some guardsmen and Daira.
So he kind of beelines for Miriah and bows a little bit to Maester Dorian. Maester Dorian, good day, sir. But do you mind? May I speak to my god's daughter for a minute?
Of course, Orla. And he leaves.
He kind of gives Maester Dorian a suspicious eye as he leaves. This is not a man that he particularly trusts. And he kneels down next to Miriah and he says, I heard what has happened. Are you all right?
I'm fine. Daira isn't.
What did they do to her?
They beat her.
Do you remember which men did this?
I could remember their faces. One of them will have a broken nose.
We will speak to the Lord and the Lady of Yronwood, and they will pay. This is not how men of this house should act.
Mm-hmm. And she just gives like a very resolute, no, it fucking is not nod. She's got a very like, I don't know, like angry, hard expression on her face talking about this affair.
Is there anything that I can do for you or for Daira?
We're fine now. She's been tended to by the Maester.
Very well. Would you care to deal with this matter immediately?
I suppose it could wait.
Of course. We leave soon to go into the mountains. I will not make this choice for you. You are a young woman, and you can be whatever you want to be in this world. Will you stay behind while I leave, or will you come with us?
I can't go with you.
I promise you this, my lady. I will do whatever I can to make sure that Lord Blackmont is taken alive, that he is treated fairly, and that he stands fair trial.
Please don't hurt him.
I will do everything in my power to make sure that does not happen.
I trust you.
And I trust you. While you're here, be careful. Look after Daira. Be wary. Perhaps you will learn things about what has changed in this house that I have not yet seen.
I've been careful for many years now. I'll be all right while you're gone.
I know you will. I look forward to returning to you, my lady.
See that you do.
Oh, I'll be fine, he says, and you see like a flash of confidence in his eyes and a smile. He stands up and kind of brushes off his pants. I have to go and begin my preparations now before I leave. And do you wish for me to have a word with you and my parents about this matter with Daira?
Yes. I feel like this needs to be resolved. These men punished.
Well, let us go. And he would offer her his arm as before.
Mm-hmm. I should take it.
And he would walk proudly and go seek out audience with the idea of the guards that were on duty are going to be summoned, and they're going to have to answer for their crimes.
How would you like them to answer for their crimes?
Well, he's not in command. He doesn't make he doesn't enact the law, but he would be firm in telling his father. And this time he would point himself to his father that the men who guard the way must be strong of arm and of heart. Attacking a woman from behind, treating a guest in our house like this, that is the sign of a weak man. They cannot serve, and they must pay for assaulting an innocent woman.
All right. I would like you to roll for me a persuasion convince
All right.
test.
Can I assist him? Just to even give him a +1.
Yeah. +1 to the test result.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that'll just be a 10.
Your father makes excuses that the situation is difficult, and he apologizes to Lady Miriah. They are Dornish men, and they are very stuck in their ways. I can only imagine that you have found the same from the other side whilst you were in the Reach. We need every man in the garrison, and so I will speak with them, and I will speak with their sergeant. But if you are to command them, then they need to see a commander who is on their side. You chastise them now, and you only go to damage your own command, I believe.
Olyver looks down to Miriah to gauge her reaction.
She's unhappy. But she's kind of, you can tell somebody is like biting their tongue.
Olyver looks back to his father and he'll say, "This is your house and you're the law here, father. But this matter is not over. It is not just enough to lead the men to guard the way. We must be the kind of Yronwoods that will bring glory and honor back to this house. We have lost so much, and while I am here, I will not bend in my honor."
He looks at Miriah. He says, I am very sorry for what has happened here. But believe me, that you are a guest in this house, and you will be treated as such. I will speak with the sergeant. But you are in command of this army now, Olyver, as your mother says, and now it is your duty, and it is your command to do with what you will.
Then it is my choice. What is to become of these 3 men?
And he nods, yeah.
Are they in the room? Have the guards been summoned as well?
No.
I will not take the garrison with me into the mountains. I will take the sandworms. I will take those who can be quiet in the night. When I return, these 3 men will no longer be serving. I do not wish to see them again at Castle Yronwood.
Very well.
If the sergeant is upset about this, I am happy to speak with him upon my return. Father, mother, thank you. And he looks down to Miriah. There's a little bit of anxiety in his eyes. What does he see? Any change in her expression at all?
It's softened a little bit, knowing that there will be a punishment coming to them. But she's kind of pissed that this happened, and they don't really seem to give a shit. Especially that, Daemon and Miriah are guests at House Yronwood, and they were attacked, and she's noticeably still a bit pissed at Mama and Papa Yronwood, but she still managed to rein it in as much as possible. So she still is being as polite as she can, whilst also being slightly pissed. She's not outwardly going, you dicks, but her smile is maybe a bit tight, doesn't reach her eyes, and when she says thank you and does a little tiny curtsy, it's just a little one, just a formal, out of necessity, not as in thank you, as in I have to do this.
Olyver would just kind of bow to take his leave and offer to walk out with Lady Miriah.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they clear the door, the guards, his mother and father, he would kind of lean down and whisper, "You and me, my lady, we will make this house a better place."
She just gives you like that very like nod, like, yes, we will. We will. Starting off, I think those men need better training.
I agree. 3-on-1. Such a shame.
Well, I was also there.
Oh. Did you join in the fisticuffs?
Not quite. I nearly did.
I bet you would have been magnificent, my lady.
I'm not entirely sure that I would have. But thank you. Your faith in me is always as ever.
Just a cat. So yeah, I guess that's that. What else what else do you need from me, Sam, in regards to preparations? Do I need to make any rolls or anything?
No, so you're going to take just the sandworms.
No, I'm taking the sandworms and I'm taking the Order of the Blood Royals.
Oh yeah, the Brotherhood of the Blood Royal.
So the idea is the sandworms are going to get sent out first, so they can kind of sneak through the mountains and be stealthy.
Sure.
And then half a day later, Olyver and the knights will ride out together with the idea. I mean, I have a whole plan, but yeah, there's a whole plan involving both.
Yes, sure. All right. What's the farewell like when you all go marching out and trotting out on horseback as this cavalry unit, all regaled in the House Ironwood colours, and the sandworms, this guerrilla force that is not unlike the devoted of the Greenmont house. Very, like, literally the Dornish equivalent, very lightly armoured, very quiet, a little less formally marching out of House Ironwood compared to the cavalry.
So the sandworms practice a level of camouflage that's rare even in Dorne. They're wearing red and dark brown colored clothing with light armor so that they can move through the mountains and be easily mistaken as crags in the Red Mountains. They fight with spears. They keep a number of spears strapped to their back because they also use them for throwing. And they would head out first under Olyver's orders and how to act. And then half a day later, the Order of the Blood Royals would roll out. And this is an ancient order of knights. These are the most well-trained fighters of House Ironwood, who they don't serve. Most orders of knights and Crusader knights especially, because these are like a mix of Crusader and cavalry. They don't serve a religious purpose. Instead, their order still kind of reveres the old ideas of Dorne, the idea that there should be a king or a queen of Dorne, and that Dorne will one day rise to independence again. It's sort of fraternity-ish. Some of the members might take the creed a little more to heart than the others, but they all swear by it. And they're black armored knights, much like Olyver. And with red banners marking the gate sigil that is House Ironwood. They're all halberd-wielding, lance-riding individuals. They are very similar to Olyver. In fact, he was never a member of the order, but it's obvious that he's taken his look and his training from the order.
What do the two of you say to each other as Sir Olyver is sat on horseback, surrounded by 25 odd cavalry, these knights that look just like the Black Lance? What do the two of you say to each other?
He would have his helm off and kind of in his lap. He's got his weapons strapped to the side of his horse or to his back, and he's kind of sitting on top. He pulls his sand steed, whose name is Nymeria, around so that he can kind of look down at Miriah, and he'd just give her like a really happy smile. There's a certain amount of freedom as the wind is rushing through his hair and bristling his beard. He looks very comfortable and free on the back of this horse, armored with these men. He smiles down at her, and he's quiet for a moment. He's just trying to gauge her.
She has she's kind of almost like a sad expression on her face, as she's made it clear to Olyver that like this is probably the right thing to do, but she doesn't feel like it is, and she's very conflicted about it. But she reaches around her neck and pulls off a silver chain that she's wearing with a pendant on it, and the pendant has the like Greenmont heart, like with the swords to it, and she reaches up and offers it to him. Says, "Stay safe, and I want this back."
He takes it and he kind of cups her hand beneath and above as he does so. And he says, "I will be safe, my lady, and I will return it to you. In the meantime, forget me not." And he'll take the pendant and he'll basically tuck it inside his armor, sort of like it's a token.
All right. You see Sir Olyver ride off in a slow walk with the rest of these cavalrymen, and then a kick into a trot. As to the north, Nymeria's star shines bright in the evening. As we pan down from that Nymeria's star back to Highgarden, Symon, you have managed to be freed from the tower, woken in the morning by the Maester. You walk out of that tower a little dazed, a little disorientated, but you head. But where do you head back to?
Well, to say, because I don't think carrying a blade in Highgarden is a good idea. What Symon did was write a little missive on some vellum and then just stab it into the door of his office. Just a little something like, "I so loved your accommodations. Please seek me out and ensure that your door remains unlocked, or that you otherwise alert me to your absence.
Okay.
Next time."
Yeah.
and next time is like written with the quill almost breaking at the end.
Like scrawling like big letters. Yeah, and you slam that knife into the back of his front door. As he shows you out, you don't hear him kind of notice or bear any reply to you when he's closed the door. So you head back out into the grounds of the Golden Rose of Highgarden, and you hear a woman's voice ask, "Symon?" And you turn, and in the morning light steps forward the figure of Lady Tamora Hightower. And that's where we're going to finish tonight's session.
I'm worried now. Yep, I'm worried. Should have kept the knife. Really should have kept the knife.
Oh
boy.
Man. All right,
You
thank
still got the poison.
Yeah, I got the poison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick talk. Quick debrief. Why the fuck?
Oh man. All right. Thank you, folks. I had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah.
Not as not as all like, not all as serious and narrative-y reading from stuff as last time. Lots of angry dudes and like fisticuff gobbies, but it worked. It's fine. Still tense. Yeah, I agree. Still tense. Still really cool. Still really juicy. I'm glad we got to see some of that juice, like exposed when it came to the Ironwoods. So Don, like, that was pretty big, I think, in terms of the like emotional journey for the Ironwoods today. That was really cool. How did you fare?
I loved it. Yeah. It's something that obviously, like, when I first created the character, I was like, well, this is something that's probably going to happen at some point. But I didn't know how or what it would actually be like. And I loved it. I'm a very big fan of being surprised. It's one of my favorite things because I kind of have I tend to watch things analytically and like reverse engineer them. So it's kind of hard for me to get surprised. Like I'm watching a TV show, I'm reading a book, I'm playing a game. I can usually see what's coming, but there's something going on with House Ironwood that I don't know, that I don't understand. And that came out a couple of times tonight. I love the scenes with Olyver and Miriah today, from the dancing to she's really mad because some of the guards are dicks. I thought all those scenes were really fun. I did not expect Symon to whisper the fucking letter into, like, you already, like, I don't, dude. But I think Symon had my favorite Symon moment tonight that I've seen in any episode so far.
Even she's surprised.
That started that second scene with Symon. Like, he had already been beaten down in the intrigue at the end of the first scene, and he came out firing strong at the beginning of the second scene. And he still ended up withdrawing, but he had a moment of some real gravitas there that I enjoyed about the character. He got to say some things that have been inferred before, but actually hearing it come out of his mouth, pretty cool. So I really liked everything tonight. All the twists and turns. Yeah, I had a great time.
Cheers, man. Where can we find you? What you been up to?
Oh, let's see. You can find me online at Donathan Fry on Twitter. I have a pinned tweet there. I launched a Patreon recently, so I run private campaign games there. I publish independent adventures mostly, but other supplements too that I'm working on there. So that's something that's new. I've had a lot of folks get really involved so far, which has been cool. I am the Dungeon Master for May Black Roses Bloom. It's Dragonlance D&D 5th Adventure. Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These next few weeks are going to be wild as we sort of get to the end of what's been I think it'll end up being like 42 or 43 sessions by the time we wrap. So it's a pretty long campaign. Other than that, you'll find me here next time that I'm here. And I will be between writing and slinging margaritas.
On Taco Tuesdays. Yeah, cool. Susie.
Oof.
I don't even know where to start.
Oof. Where do we start? Mama Ironwood is fucking scary as shit. The Ironwood guards are dicks, and I'm all alone there now. Well, no, I've got Dara, but yeah. I'm all alone. Are we gonna stab somebody soon? Are we getting to that point?
Can if you like. I'm not in control of that.
Let's go. Right, I'm gonna stab somebody.
Go find that rock again.
I'll get myself a stabbing rock. No, but this was really like there was a lot of tension. There was a lot of like juicy fruits. I always just love Olyver and Miriah together because it's like they have like little bits, islands of happiness, and then badness happens around them.
Seas of badness.
Just seas and oceans of shit. But Symon, oh boy, Charlie, you should be grateful that you live in Texas and Charlie lives in England, because when I tell her what you did, she's going to want not Symon, your fucking head, Jason.
She's gonna be furious.
Yeah,
she's gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was perfect. It was such a good story beat, and fucking can't believe my brother's fucking loyalist. Gross. His big speech about fucking who would even.
I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. It was so deserving of like 9 million bonus dice. But I'm Susanna Grace, otherwise known as Susie. You can find me all over the internet at Susanna Grace, and actually coming up on the 4th of September, just announced yesterday, I believe, I am running Zweihander on Encounter Roleplay, which is a grim and perilous dark fantasy, low fantasy setting about intrigues and Oh, I've done it again. Actually, it is about like a rebellion too. Two brothers fighting for the throne. Oops. Oops.
Underwear.
Tune in for that. That will be on Encounter Roleplay starting from the 4th of September at 9 p.m. BST, which I believe is 4 p.m. Eastern. And actually, I think next Wednesday, hopefully, is the finale of Bite Club, in which my players kill Strahd von Zarovich, maybe, or he kills them. We'll find out. But besides that, just follow me on Twitter, and I'll scream about stuff on there.
Sweet. So, Jace.
Yeah.
A very, like, besides the dice, a very strong session for Symon, I think. I don't know. You have a curse, man. You have a curse.
I don't know what it is. It's navigating spaces that Symon wasn't built for, and sure. I think what makes it so good is that, and I honestly think it was Charlie who told me once that Symon is very good at gathering information, contrary to current evidence. but he's very good at consolidating that, and he doesn't have to do anything with it. He just needs to make sure that the right people know it. And if the right people see the peril, then they'll act in ways that he could never, even influence. So
it's really cool. I got that. Like, I can see what you're doing now, like around court and trying to incite people, get them to do stuff. Like, it's strong. I think it's a really good play.
Yeah. Well, because so often times the problem is that people don't talk to each other, and as soon as you've got too many secrets flying around, if somebody hears the wrong one at the right time, then it'll be interesting. I'm sorry, Charlie, and I'm so sorry.
Oh man, it was just like balls out. We're doing this. Like we are telling her. There's going to be some beautiful consequences to that. I cannot wait. Oh man. But what else are you up to, or what have you been up to? Where can we find you? All that good stuff.
I've been up to a lot of stuff, actually. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on. If you go over at Just Jason Please on Twitter, you can find the pinned tweet. That'll be replaced very, very soon, and made more accurate. And other than that, I mean, just follow these lovely folks, Olyver and Miriah, together for but a brief fleeting moment, and now separated once again. We shall see how that goes. But that'll be fantastic to see unfold.
You'll talk about wanting to be in scenes more with each other, and then you go off and do a different thing, and then Miriah's done her own, Oliver's gone off and done a thing. Like, I can only help you so much, folks. That's all I'm saying.
Look, we're just seeing how many ways we can split everybody up.
That's fine. I can handle that. I can do that. As long as you don't mind sitting and listening for a while. That's all good. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for playing with me tonight. It was freaking awesome, and thank you for watching. You can catch me anywhere around the internet, pretty much, at RPG Webby. I am head of development at Modiphius Entertainment. We make all sorts of tabletop role-playing, board games, and war games. We're multifaceted. And I'm also one half of Black Cats Gaming, when we just did a successful Kickstarter for the Spy game, which is a 5e-derived modern game all about espionage and international intrigue and all kinds of cool stuff. I love my intrigue, so what can I say? But it's all action-adventure, like Archer and Metal Gear Solid and all the cool things you want with really familiar rules. So check it out. You can check all that out either, as I said at the top of the show, either at blackcatsgaming.com, or you can also have a little ganders, probably just to check out the Kickstarter page, even though we haven't got our late pledges up yet. You just search for the Spy game on Kickstarter, you'll find it there as well. Check us out again on Twitter and Facebook too, all that stuff in chat as well. I really loved that session. That was really fun. Even though it was like there wasn't like any big action and stuff like that, there was some cool power play going on. I really enjoyed that. A couple of things I'm on coming up. On Sunday we have our finale, our actual finale, our proper finale of Sky Chasers on Tales from the Grim. on Sunday. So Charlie, who is Myria Greenmont in this game, is finishing that up as our I forgot what they're called properly in Call of Cthulhu, but that's like a storyteller. Where my son, that is inhabited by another member of my team, is currently I'm driving them and Ghost Susie to a hotel where our other team members will be, and we'll figure
one
out.
of them is like a Nazi technology alien.
Nazi alien robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to figure out what the plan is when we get to the hotel, because I have no fucking idea what to do.
I'm a ghost. I don't fucking know anything.
Cool. We're doomed. It's going to be great. And then we actually just started a Star Trek Adventures stream on the Modifius Twitch channel on Wednesdays. I think it's 5 p.m. UK time, which is going to be something like 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you go on your lunch break, if you're in the US, check that out. Or if you're just going home, or just hang around at work and watch us play Star Trek Adventures. We got quite a few people watching us just this week gone, so hopefully we'll keep that up. I'm playing a Vulcan Space Cowboy. Literally randomly rolled every single option in the life path creation, and I rolled a Vulcan Space Cowboy.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Intriguing, you all, because I can't use contractions.
Oh.
So everything is
data?
So everything is you all. Not y'all.
That upsets me.
I have a focus in xenobovine biology. Because I fucking love cows. Space cows, they're the best. Alright, yeah, I think we're crashing into some dark side of a tidal lock planet, so that's going to go well for us next week. So we'll find out what happens then. Until then, folks, we'll see you all later, and hopefully for some more juicy fruits next week. I don't know who the cast will be, so you'll just have to check out Twitter. Farewell, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye-bye.